How's it going, everyone? A little bored, so I thought that I would hop on live with you guys. The market is starting to finally pick back up, just as I predicted that late July going into August, we would start to see a swing up. We're starting to get a lot of bullish news coming out in terms of the Ethereum ecosystem with EIP 1559. We have Polkadot with some new parachain auctions coming up. The Alonzo rollout is supposed to happen for Cardano with its smart contract functionality finally. We also have SmartCon coming up on the 5th going into the 7th. Many people believe that Chainlink is going to announce that they will be finally bringing staking to the Link ecosystem. So it's pretty bullish times right now to be involved in crypto, especially after we had the massive, correction, which we just needed. If you go back in my archive of videos, I told you guys that SafeMoon, Rocket, Ripple, Dogecoin, we had to have a correction. When you have complete morons making millions of dollars and they have no idea what a ledger is, the utility behind this technology, you need a little correction. I don't think that we're completely out of the territory yet. We still may go back down and test the lows just to make sure that that bottom is in. I predicted $1,700 Ethereum around that area and 24 to 26K Bitcoin. We didn't get quite there on Bitcoin as I expected. We got down here to about 29,000. The low. Let's look at this high to low for the candle. $28,800. So I was pretty close to what I was expecting. So really, really good times to be involved in crypto. What's really funny is that we finally had the chance to really see who's here for the technology, who actually know and understands what the hell they're talking about, and who was really just here for a cash grab. When you look at like a lot of the people from these big platforms, you know me, and I say names, whether it was the Earn Your Leisure crowd, whether it was the, credit gurus, all of these people, all of a sudden, as soon as crypto was blowing up and breaking out to all-time highs, you had people creating Capo Coin and, all of these different, quick little money grabs because crypto was trending, NFTs were trending, and then notice that it got real quiet with crypto. You didn't really see a lot of crypto content over the past 3 months from many of these so-called influencers. And now you see Boyce, he's talking about a B1 coin. It's just, it comes with the territory. What I've begun to realize is that just people are dumb, and you can never underestimate the level of stupidity that exists amongst just individuals and manias. You have to accept it for what it is. And this is why what I will never do, you're never going to see me try to stop someone from making money or try to come out here and, bash people. If they want to create coins, if they want to create the Black Wall Street Exchange, all of this foolishness, right? And if you want to support it because you believe it's black owned, then go for it. It's not my place to stop you. But what I will tell you is that these people, they are just they're just cashing in on your ignorance. That's all they're doing. And if you want to be ignorant and willfully ignorant, then by all means, go for it. How's it going, Ron Carter? I can't stay. I just wanted to drop by and say hey to the Common Sense family. Keep up the good work, Eli. I've tuned in a few people onto you, and the grind set is contagious, bro. Stay focused, no problem. Yeah, so, but like I was saying, so it's beautiful, man. We have some really interesting times right now, with going on in crypto. So the bull market is nowhere near over. Many of you are going to get filthy rich just based upon a proximity of timing, right? Just being in the right place at the right time. Now, what's embarrassing is many of you are going to be in the right place at the right time, and you're still going to lose money, which is embarrassing. right here, if you look at the market, right, the overall market cap right now is sitting at $1.6 trillion. ETH gas fees right now is at 26 Gwei, so gas fees are really, really low. If you look at Bitcoin dominance, it's dropping. It's at 47%, 47.3. Ethereum's holding firm at 18%, which is pretty good. Bitcoin right now is at 42,000. For me to really feel like I'm not, to really be confident in this up move, I want to see us test 44, 46,000 and then pull back down into the $40,000 area and then hold that and establish that base area before we go and take another leg up higher. ETH right now is at 26.21. I expect Ethereum to pump hard going into EIP 1559. Ethereum is right on pace for what I expected Ethereum to be doing up until this point. So no complaints there. Cardano is supposed to be getting this Alonzo, smart contracts. Hopefully, eventually they'll get their smart contracts, whatever the case may be. So it's pumping into that news coming up. Ripple, complete shit and absolute garbage. But again, there will always be people who like to come to the casino and gamble, right? That's the reality. And look, you got Dogecoin right there. Right on cue, you have Polkadot on a monster rally. It's up 40% for the week, 17% on a day in the past 24 hours. You know me, I am a huge bull in Polkadot. I believe that Polkadot is going to definitely have a massive role in the fourth industrial revolution and the great reset that we're going through. Uniswap, again, can't go wrong with Uniswap, giving you access to so many different tokens that you never would be able to have access to before. I told you guys right now with Binance, I would be very, 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 very careful with Binance right now. There's a lot of, rumors and things circulating around Binance. I told you guys, get your crypto off of Binance. I did not say sell any of your crypto. I said get your crypto off of Binance, meaning go out here, get you a ledger. I have multiple ledgers, right? This is a Ledger S. Get you a Nano Ledger X, or get a MetaMask wallet, or Atomic wallet, or the Exodus wallet, and get your crypto off of that exchange. Many people are complaining that the regulators are starting to come in because Binance was listing stocks, and they do not have a securities license to do so. They're not registered to do that. They were basically having tokens, like synthetic tokens, that mirror the price of Apple shares and Tesla shares in the United Kingdom and in different parts of Europe. They're not allowing people to wire or transfer any money from their bank account into Binance. So definitely, where there is smoke in crypto, there's definitely fire. The CFO for Binance stepped down about a month or two ago. There's definitely some serious rumblings going on right now. Also, the CZ, who is the CEO of Binance, he came out and said that there's a succession plan in place for him in the event that he had to step down. You don't come out and say stuff like that unless there's a reason for you to be saying something like that. So again, you got to be able to read the tea leaves and read the writing on the wall. Binance is definitely, it's alleged. Let me not say definitely. I have to use my words carefully. Binance has been alleged for a really, really long time to be running a bucket shop and a fractional reserve cryptocurrency exchange, meaning that on the screen it may say you have 100 Chainlink, but they do not have enough Chainlink to pay everyone out in the event that people wanted to come and get their crypto at one time. And that's a problem, right? Because that means they're running a scam operation, allegedly. So they even increased the withdrawal limits now, that you have to wait almost 2 weeks in order for you to be able to take your crypto off of the Binance exchange for new customers. That to me reminds me 100% of what happened at Mt. Gox years ago when I got burned. It reminds me of Bitfinex. I've been around long enough that I know that if there's smoke, there's definitely fire, and there's something going on there. We are in the phase of crypto where this is the fight phase. One of my members in my academy named Alice, she always talks about that this is the fight phase. The regulators are going to come after crypto now because we're finally getting mainstream adoption. So this is time to see which one of your cryptocurrencies are actually censorship resistant, right? We watched China try to attack Bitcoin. That was unsuccessful. it did push the price down, but Bitcoin was able to be resilient and move forward, right? So we're and then right on cue now. You see this. This came out today. Not a drill. Infrastructure bill could sink American crypto industry. The government aims to partially cover the cost of a massive infrastructure bill by taxing crypto companies, and the entire industry will feel it, right? So Joe Biden basically is going to try to cover his infrastructure bill by taxing crypto. So this should be interesting. I don't think this is FUD. I believe that the regulators are coming. Winter is definitely coming. Now, what would I do to the price? I don't necessarily know, but I know for a fact that the regulators are definitely coming. That we cannot sit around and pretend like that isn't going to happen and like the regulators aren't going to come. Like we have to, at a certain point, we have to stop sitting around and pretending like the regulators are not coming. Again, remember, this is your president. You wanted a Biden administration. You have a Biden administration. Many of you are liberals, and you believe that in the liberal agenda. You believe in paying your taxes, and that's a good thing. I'm not here to tell you what you should or should not, believe or think. I'm just telling you winter's coming, and you should definitely be prepared. What I believe is going to happen is that they're going to attack the exchanges, and they're basically going to go after unrealized capital gains. Let's see what's going on in the chat with you guys. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Neither party supports crypto. It's not about whether the party supports crypto. It's about the way that they plan on funding the government. So again, remember, Joe Biden is your president, not mine. I didn't vote for him. So trust me when I tell you, they're definitely going to come after your crypto. Fractional reserve, like the Federal Reserve, absolutely SREP, 100%. Ethereum is always a good investment if you're first getting started. It's always I always tell people when you first get started, right? Don't overcomplicate it. See, this is what happens with a lot of people. They overcomplicate investing, and it's not really that complicated. What you have to understand is start with Bitcoin, start with Ethereum. Go get a Coinbase account, learn the basics in terms of what's a public key, what is a private key, what is your seed phrase. Start learning those basic things, how to send crypto, how to store it. Get comfortable with sending it back and forth from a hardware wallet or a desktop wallet. And then you can start venturing out from Bitcoin and Ethereum to the, wild west of crypto. But, give yourself a chance to really learn and just get your feet wet so that you're not, bombarding yourself with all of these different cryptocurrencies, and because it can get confusing. And the next thing you know, you'll be buying Cumrocket, Shiba Swap, and Kishu, and you'll be on here telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, or buying SafeMoon, and then the rest of the market is rallying and SafeMoon is still crashing. So but Ethereum's a solid investment. Ethereum is going to power a large percentage of DeFi. I still do think that though there will be other players in DeFi besides Ethereum, such as like a Solana or a Terra. I really like those protocols. Someone said unrealized capital gains. Absolutely. They've already flirted that idea out there. They've already been flirting with that idea. So I would not be surprised if that happens at all. Sleepy Joe so popular he won without campaigning. Yeah. Listen, man, as I said before, you just have to understand that the American population at a large, they have the literacy rate, the reading comprehension, rate of around like a 5th or 6th grader, right? Like their reading and their math skills are around the 5th or 6th grader. So it doesn't take much to convince them to vote for particular things that will be, disadvantageous to them and will actually impact them in a negative way. It's not hard to do so. So the idea of thinking that you're going to vote people in that's going to have your best interest, that's a pretty, that's been proven to not work. That's coming next, Russell. 100%. We know that that's coming next. They're already talking about the idea of this new, I don't want to say the name because when you say certain keywords during your stream, they knock it down. But like we have this new version of what's going on now, and that it's basically it's the people who didn't take the jab, like people like myself, who we are making the people who did take the jab sick. It's laughable to even think that, like, it's like if you can still get sick even though you took the jab, then what's the point of taking the jab? Right? It's just really a matter of just basically trying to, control people. That's what it's about at the end of the day. So next, you won't be able to fly without the jab. Your kids won't be able to go to school. You won't be able to go to work unless you take the jab. Right? So it like I said, the Great Reset's here. Many of you've had enough time to prepare. If you didn't prepare, now you will bow down and be the slave that you was put here to be. That's just the reality of what's here. So, I mean, you don't have to believe me. You can think I'm crazy, but I've been in here telling you guys this. Just like prime example, and I'll pull it up right now. And I say these things not because I'm trying to scare you, but because I like to keep track of the score. I don't get it correct all the time. There are times when I can get it incorrect, but I want to show you something right now. I made a video. Where is this video at? I'll tell you right now. Where is the video at? It's about housing. Really, really good video I did a while ago. Occupy Wall Street, QE, stimulus, 401k, FDIC. My channel was being attacked. It was something I did about housing. Here we go. The eviction crisis is coming and is part of the Great Reset. I did this video 11 months ago. Got 7,000 views on that video, right? Follow me here. This is important. So, right on cue today, your government, both sides, both Republican and Democrat, they were supposed to vote on some type of a bill to extend the, rent moratorium, the mortgage moratorium. And I told you guys that, remember, Big Claus told you, you will own nothing and you will love it. You have institutions like BlackRock. They're going out here and they're buying up real estate left and right, 30% and 40% over, the market, the asking price. And now what's going to happen is that the politicians, because they can't get their act together, they're going to say, you know what, we tried, but it was the Republicans. And then the Republicans are going to say, we tried, but it was the Democrats. And then basically they're not going to be able to extend it, or they're going to put together some, Band-Aid package that may help some of you, but not a lot of you. And many of you are going to end up losing your home or losing your apartments or your rent to own, whatever it is you have. Many of you are going to lose it. And then it's going to allow the institutions to come in and buy up your property, because that's all part of the Great Reset, right? Of getting you dependent upon government, giving you some type of a government stipend. And then if you don't do what the government wants, then you're at their mercy to basically, come and seize your property. And that's what's happening right now. That's what I told you guys about, the eviction crisis that's coming 11 months ago. And here we are now. I don't say these things because I'm proud. I say these things because, it's here. It's happening. When preparation meets opportunity, success is inevitable, right? If you are prepared, you will thrive. Those who fail to prepare should be prepared to fail, right? And those who are prepared properly should be prepared to succeed. That's why I'm succeeding overwhelmingly. I'm not succeeding because I'm, smarter than you, or I'm some, reptilian shapeshifting alien from Planet X or Nibiru. No, it's just because when Klaus is telling you that it's time for a great reset, I believe him, right? When Richard Seed says that he's trying to live forever, I believe him, right? When Bill Gates says that there's too many humans on the earth, I believe that he believes what he's saying, right? See, this is the problem. A lot of you think that this stuff is a game. Like no, these people want to rule and dominate. They have the technology to live forever. They have the technology to, they have the technology to restart civilization if need be. They don't really need us anymore. So when they're speaking, they're telling you what they're going to do, and then people sit up here and go like, "Oh, that's just a conspiracy." No, Klaus said it. We need a great reset. So it's here. So I was telling you about the coming eviction crisis, and we're witnessing it starting to creep up now. Now, what you guys do with it is on you. How you prepare, who you listen to, and what you listen to is on you. If you think I'm a coon, I'm an agent, I'm a bussy warrior, I'm a part of the Rainbow Mafia, I'm a Sambo self-hating black man, then you can believe that too, right? At the end of the day, that's the beautiful thing about life. You always have choice. I just know that the things I've been saying, they've been pretty much, happening. Yes, Tetsu, look up transhumanism. The goal is to blend man with machine. You're watching. What do you think Elon Musk Neuralink is about? Like, these things are happening. They're not like I'm not talking about some, science fiction movie that's far off. I'm talking about things that actually exist today. What do you think gene editing is about? All of these things, right? Mapping your genome. What do you think that stuff's about, right? It's about, it's about knowing, your genetic code and cracking the code, right? In sequencing your code properly, right? Like these things are here. Like Cathie Wood talks about these things in terms of disruptive technology. Like they literally can edit your genes. So these, they've been working really, really well. And crypto just fits into, the theme of everything going digital. There's a part of it that throws a monkey wrench in it, but then there's another part that, could be used to, hurt us. I agree 100%, SREP. I'm not here to say it's good or bad. I'm just telling you what's happening and how to prepare for it. That's all. That's my role. I don't really know what you can do, P1MP, in certain instances. Like, if your job, if your job is mandating that you get it and you don't have the necessary resources, then, try to find a doctor that will say that they gave it to you and they really didn't, right? See if you can pay someone, bribe someone. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of that you can possibly do, right? Get some type of a, fake card. And again, I'm not advocating that you do anything illegal. I'm not advocating that you break any laws. I'm just telling you, answering your question. You asking what can you do? I mean, that's the only thing I can think that you could possibly do, because if they give you some type of a vaccine passport, then you won't be able to fly. You won't be able to go to sporting events. Your kids won't be able to go to school. So that's the only thing I can really think of. Mm-hmm. Jazz Buzzer says, "Do you think we still have time?" I think for those of you that are focused in the right direction and putting your energy in the right place, you will thrive. You will get the necessary skill sets, and you will network with the necessary people, and you'll build out. See, life has an amazing way of, because I believe that we live in some type of a simulation, right, or some type of a closed loop of time. And I'm a nerd, so I watch a lot of Marvel movies, right, and shows. And I was watching Loki, and King the Conqueror is going to be the new, villain for the upcoming Phase 4 Marvel theme. And what's cool about this is that he basically was controlling the flow of time, right? A time he had the whole MCU was in a closed loop of time. Now I just told you guys again, this is it's amazing when you watch this stuff. I was just watching a show called The Fringe, and in the show The Fringe, they were talking about time, right? And they were basically saying that you had these other species, right, who like they lived in another dimension, and they had us in a time. It wasn't a time loop. It was like basically saying that time never really ends or begins. It's just an endless loop back and forth. and they were steadying us. So imagine this being filled with liquid, and basically they would, take the timeline back and move the timeline forward, and take the timeline back and move it forward. And it was just really, really interesting to look at, like to think about it. And like basically, the people had like superpowers or whatever. But what happened was, one of the people that was in this endless time loop, his son had passed away. And that, some people, like in the Matrix, they start rejecting the loop. And some people had superpowers where they can go from this dimension to another dimension, because basically there are multiples of me in other dimensions, right? There are good versions of me, bad versions of me, tall versions, short versions. So his son had passed away in this particular time loop. So he went to another loop and brought his son from another dimension back over here. And that basically caused chaos within time, right? Because you took someone out of a loop that they were supposed to be in. And the same thing happened in Loki with, and again, I hope I'm not spoiling it for those of you that didn't have a chance to watch it yet. But that's what happened with Loki. Like, there was so many variants of Loki, and that what happened when Sylvie and Loki got together and they start kissing on the planet, like that's outside of Loki's programming and what he's designed to do, to fall in love. So when him and that variant, it basically threw the whole MCU out of whack. And then what King said at the end is, even if you destroy me, another one's just going to pop up, another version of me. But the other version that's coming is not going to be as nice as I am, right? So, the whole idea of, this whole, the multiverse, it's fascinating to watch, because Elon Musk talks about the idea of a simulation. The Matrix movie was about a simulation. The show The Fringe was about it. And then here we are now, and we're watching the MCU, and they're talking about basically people controlling the timeline and basically braiding all of time together, right? So it's definitely interesting, right? It's interesting to watch it, because you're watching people start to play with time and start to play with stuff like that. And like TSRC said, the World Economic Forum ran the simulation event 201 2 months ago. Later, there we go, hit. They're running a simulation called Cyberpolygon 21. Yeah, so we're watching these things unfold and happen right before our very eyes. The problem is that people think that this stuff is just a movie, right? Like, think about it. Someone had to get the idea for the movie. Like, where did the idea come from? See, at a certain point, you have to start saying to yourself, like when you hear about like werewolves and vampires and aliens and stuff like that, how does the human mind think of that? How does the human mind come up with that? Right? Something had to spur that thought process and that conversation in the first place, right? You had to see something to, bring that about, right? So these things are, important. Even if like, if you start getting into the whole flat earth debate, right? Because it's a really fascinating debate about the idea whether or not gravity really exists or not, right? What we do know, if we just go based upon our government, we know for a fact that when they said that we went to the moon, we actually never really went, right? Like, that was all a lie, right? We ended up flying and getting to the moon much later than the government was out here saying. That was just propaganda. We know that. That's a fact. Like, that's a actual declassified with government documentation that the whole moon landing was fake, the original one. So it was then, and this is like, again, not conspiracy theory talk, but like, there's land outside of Antarctica, right? Like there's more land mass. That's not saying the Earth is flat, but just outside of past Antarctica, like there's actual land mass. Like, there's parts of Antarctica that's not frozen. Like it's as hot as going to the desert. Like, we know these things, right? Like factually, we know these things. So, it's just, it's interesting. Like, when you start looking at these things, and just really being, intrigued about this stuff, and not coming at it from a conspiracy theory, but just from a scientific debate, in a scientific conversation, right? It's really, really fascinating. And then, when you start looking at like, the power of like telescopes, and how you can, on your own buy a telescope, and you can start like looking up and seeing what's up in the sky. It's really fascinating. So The Russians were there first. Mm-mm. King the Conqueror or Doctor Doom. Um, right. When you say King the Conqueror, mhm. It's Kang. It's not Doctor Doom, but there's a version of Kang the Conqueror that blends with Doctor Doom. Because remember, Kang the Conqueror, he got a lot of his in terms of technology and stuff like that. He got a lot of the ideas from Doctor Doom. Because Doctor Doom's a supervillain as well. They just ruined the Fantastic Four with the movies. Um, so question: if we take out a loan on Aave in USDC, do we have to pay taxes if we convert to USDC in Coinbase? Absolutely. Anytime you go from crypto to crypto, or you convert crypto into fiat, it's a taxable event. So, for example, like if you swap USDC for Ethereum or for Aave, that right there is a taxable event. Any crypto to crypto swap is a taxable event. If you take out the loan and you bring it over to Coinbase and you cash out into fiat, you're going to generate a taxable event. I never said the earth was flat. I'm just simply saying to you that there's more land masses and there's unexplored land or land that you're not necessarily allowed to go onto. That's fertile land. The shape of the earth that none of us will truly know. People like Neil deGrasse Tyson, he believes that it's shaped like a pear. So the top half of Earth is kind of narrow, and then at the base it's like oval shaped. I mean, he's much more smarter and brighter than I ever could be, and he believes that it's not round like a globe, right? So, and no one's saying that it doesn't, like, the Earth doesn't have to be flat, but we know for a fact that it's not shaped in the way that they say that it's shaped. Just even if you look at a lot of flight patterns, like, it doesn't make sense how the flight patterns are even set up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here in New York, Mr. Fast a lot, they have the C Spot dog here in New York City, working with the NYPD. Mm-hmm. What do you mean by that? Real Tech Journal. Lots of people need to do some basic learning, and what does it mean to know something. Um, I just think that a lot of people don't care to know. Like, one thing about life, we have a lot of distractions. So it's a lot of people don't care to know about a lot of things. Um, Coy Gibson, what exactly do you mean by um are you trying to say, like, basically, like, which one is better, Chainlink or the graph token? Or are you trying to say that they do similar things? Because they don't really do similar things. One indexes and organizes data, the other one provides data into blockchains as a middleware. So they may sound similar in nature, but they do two different things. Um, and how they're structured. You can even go on to onto I believe the Chainlink YouTube channel, and they even had the graph token on there speaking about it, right? So, for example, you can look at the graph token. I was talking about this earlier today on my Instagram. So, like, when you look at Uber could not exist without APIs, right? Without external frameworks and external libraries. So when you go onto your Uber application and you type in your address, effectively what's happening is the Uber app is querying map data outside of the company from another database. Like, Google Maps has created an entire library of map data, right? So now what simply happens is that if Uber had to organize all of that data and sequence all of that data, they couldn't afford to do it, right? But because Google already did that for them, they pay a small fee to be able to query that data and get that map data to be able to locate you and match you up with the driver, right? And then you have like a Twilio application that basically, you tap into that application and they can then send you a text message and be able to communicate with you via text message and ping you and let you know, hey, your cab's on the way. And then you have a merchant, again, where Uber doesn't handle the merchant stuff. You have so many different merchants, whether it's PayPal, whether it's Stripe, et cetera, et cetera. So Uber can exist because someone has already did all the work and created these libraries and frameworks for them. That's what the graph token is doing, right? The graph token is indexing data and creating queries and libraries for people who want to create applications. So rather than me, think about it. If I had a team of 4 or 5 or 6 employees and developers, it's going to be damn near infeasible for us to be able to build out and organize all of that data. But if someone already did that data for us or put together these graphs for us or these indexes for us, then I can just pay them a fee and be able to access that data, right? So that's what the graph token is basically going to do. Like, it scours the blockchains and it basically finds data and creates these indexes for us for the blockchain that already exists. So that now people like you and I who are real creative, we can make some real powerful and dynamic applications that we would never be able to do before, because again, it will cost us too much money to build out that infrastructure. See, this is the power of technology and the power of frameworks and libraries. And this is why I tell a lot of you, right now it's so easy to build and make anything you want to because all of the hard work was already done for us in the past, right? So it's easy to tap into a framework or a library and just be able to query a database and get information back and be able to build out these really scalable and robust and dynamic applications. That's what the graph token is going to be able to get you to do. Chainlink is doing something completely different. Remember, the graph token is trying to organize blockchain data. Chainlink is focused on external data that's not even on the blockchain, right? So for example, let's say that I wanted to create a smart contract where I wanted to be able to give you crop insurance and you lived somewhere, let's say in the Sudan or Tanzania, places in the world where they don't have any infrastructure, right? How would I be able to properly give you crop insurance for whether or not if it rains and your crop is destroyed, or if it doesn't rain and your crop is destroyed? So what I can do is I can basically get a bunch of weather data and I can aggregate that data from 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 different sources. This is external, right? And then create some type of a smart contract and then create some type of a threshold. If we go 15 days and 7 out of the 10 sources say that the weather was optimal and that you should not have a failure in your crop, and your crop does fail, I don't have to pay out that smart contract. But let's say that 7 out of the 10 data sources say that the weather wasn't that good and your crop did fail. Well, then now me, the crop insurer, I have to pay that out, right? So what that's doing is it's taking external data and it's creating a marketplace and being able to trigger a smart contract with external data that doesn't exist. Let's say I have a sports betting application. And let's say that the Bulls are playing against the Warriors. And I could depend on a centralized source, but a centralized source can basically game the score and say, although the Bulls did win, I can cheat and say they didn't win. And because smart contracts are deterministic, once that money is sent out, it goes out. But if I could say, you know what, I'm going to rely on 10 different data sources outside. So let's say ESPN was a data source. CBS Sports was a data source, Fox Sports was a data source. We can have 10 different data sources and they would then provide their data. And then the data aggregators, people running nodes, they would have to then say if this data is accurate or not. And if, let's say, 7 out of 10 of the sources meet that threshold, that smart contract is triggered and then you get paid out in a decentralized way. Again, you're taking external data from the real world and then you're basically finding consensus amongst that data and then feeding it and triggering a smart contract with that. That's what Chainlink is doing. So Chainlink is bridging the outside world with the actual physical world. The physical world, the outside world with the blockchain world. Those are two different things, what the graph token is doing and what Chainlink is doing. Then with the verified random function that Chainlink utilizes proof of reserves, proving that, this actual stable coin actually has the reserves that they say they do. If you have an oracle basically feeding a price feed, so like let's say a Uniswap, there's so many different ways that Chainlink is providing outside data from different sources, in a decentralized manner to basically give you as much trustlessness as you and I can come to and agree on, right? So those are, two different things. I hope I answered your question. I tried to not go too technical, but again, the graph token, to me, the graph project is a really, really solid project. People try to say like it's like Google. Like I would not go that far. No, they're not competing with Google, but they're effectively trying to do what Google is doing. Like basically Google indexes data in web pages. So when you go to, Google and you type in ESPN.com, they basically fetch from some type of a server and they give you back a bunch of results. And they say, this is result 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's effectively what the graph token will be doing. Basically querying data, getting data for you. You query for that data and then they provide an index for you. It's not about it being better. That's a great question. Real Tech Journal. It's not about it being better. It's about the fact that it's decentralized. See, if you are relying on a central point of data, then that's a central point of failure in your application. You can't say that you are a decentralized application. So yes, a centralized database or an API is always going to be faster than anything in a blockchain. You only use this technology. You're not using this technology for speed. You're using this technology for censorship resistance, right? So the purpose of using this technology is that you want it to be censorship resistant and permissionless. So meaning that it's not permissioned. If you're depending on a particular API, let's say a Google API, well, they control that API and they control that data. So they can feed you malicious data if they want to. You can't verify that data because it's their data. And then they can basically lock you out of it at any time, right? So the whole purpose of it being decentralized is creating an open, transparent infrastructure instead of systems. So I would definitely say that it's not better than a centralized API. A centralized API is always going to be faster, because it's centralized. Yeah, it's a spectrum, Real Tech Journal, right? And there are certain industries. So for example, like if we go back to 2007, right, 2006, where no one knew, like when the whole robo signing thing was going on, and you had basically banks foreclosing on people's houses because no one really knew if they were in foreclosure, if they weren't. There really wasn't proper documentation. If that type of information lives on a blockchain and you can just query that from a graph, then like that's what we need. Like basically proving what bank actually owns the actual paper belonging to this house, where we don't have to speculate and guess. There was so many problems with that, where there were multiple owners of one person's home. There were situations where a person had paid off their home, but the bank still came and foreclosed on their home because, this one lender in the middle of the country somewhere had it where this individual didn't pay off their mortgage, right? So being able to create a transparent infrastructure where you can query that information in a transparent and decentralized way without having to rely on middlemen is extremely important for businesses like that. Really just being able to pinpoint exactly counterparty risk and real ownership, where we don't have to guess about who actually owns something. Thoughts on the book Simulacra and Simulation. That's a really, really good book. I actually ordered the book. I remember I was talking to you guys about that, and also Plato's Allegory. Really, really good book. Remember, The Matrix was based off of that book. If you go to the very first scene in The Matrix, where Neo is in the room laying down, and the people come out. This is when Neo was out of the Matrix. He was a hacker, right? And they come and knock on his door. He had the book. In the book, was the discs, the hard drives that he gave to the people for the downloads, and it was like follow the white rabbit. So I believe the guy's name is Baudrillard. It's a French guy. I don't know how to say his name, but I have the book. I just never had a chance to really get into it, but it's definitely a good book. I would definitely tell you guys to read it and get into it, but I haven't had the chance to really look into it. Really get into it, but it's definitely a fascinating book. You know me, I'm a huge Matrix fan because I believe that that's the most impactful and important movie of the 21st century. Any thoughts on mass DeFi adoption for retail? I feel like the vast majority of everyday people don't care about how broken our central system is. Absolutely, Bryce XPX. That's a great question. Let me take a sip of water real quick and I'll answer that for you. So, DeFi's cap and crypto's cap in general is going to be to the point where we have to, and this is what Vitalik was saying at the Ethereum conference a week ago. Everyone has to stop focusing on DeFi. We have to start creating things that everyday average people would want to use. Right? So, like a game. You know me, I love Doom Eternal. Games like Candy Crush. Sports betting applications that people want to come and bet on. Everyday things, traveling applications where people can book travel and things of that nature. Now, the problem with that is that crypto is extremely slow right now, right? We need more scalability. We need more throughput. We need quicker blockchains and quicker settlement times, and better user experiences and user interfaces. So this is why we need developers to stop focusing so much on DeFi and start focusing on creating basic things that everyday people want to use. Shopping applications, marketplaces like an Amazon or something like that. That's definitely on a far out there. And this is why I keep trying to say to you guys about learning how to code and develop. There's so much opportunity out here. Even if your app sucks, even if your idea really isn't that well fleshed out, the fact that it's something different than DeFi, that's why the NFT space is so hot, because it's something different than decentralized finance. This is why I'm such a bull on Energy Web Token. I like projects like Helium as well, because it's using this technology for something different than just finance. And I think that that's what's going to really get mainstream adoption. The average everyday person isn't really interested in finance because most people are broke, and they're broke for a reason. They don't care about money. But finance is big because that's where all the money is at, right? So it's hard to get a developer to say, you know what, there's trillions of dollars, literally trillions of dollars that I could potentially get a percentage of. And no, I'm going to go over here and try to create some type of a weather app or some type of a, NFT marketplace. It's just, it's based upon risk and reward, and the reward is towards finance. So the beautiful thing about it is that we don't really need mass retail adoption. What we really need is we need institutional adoption. And we're starting to get that, right? We're getting the Cathie Woods, the Elon Musks of the world. That's what we need. That's where the real money's at in terms of decentralized finance. But I agree with Vitalik. We need people to create some different things outside of just, finance related, topics in terms of earning a yield, or, being able to store your crypto or borrow or lend. We definitely need some different stuff. So, and that's another reason too why a lot of people don't really realize the need for Bitcoin, because most people have no idea what inflation is, how insidious inflation is, and how inflation basically punishes you as a saver. Let's go look at some older questions. My hand keeps going to sleep on me. I don't know what's going on with my hand. It's like I'm losing feeling in these two fingers. It's weird. I noticed stores and outdoor plazas have significantly reduced amounts of traffic. Once people reduce their spending and deflation sets in, all the new hires today will be the new layoffs. Also, that's one of the most insidious things about this debt-based system, right? Because there's more debt in the system than actual physical currency, great filibuster, right? So this is one of the biggest problems, is that every time we have some type of a crash, we suck all of the liquidity, the money flowing in circulation, we suck it out of the system, right? And then therefore we're so levered in debt, but people can't work, so therefore they can't pay off the debt. Therefore creates that domino effect, because then there's the underwriters, they're depending on those payments, right? Then there's the creditors. Then you have, the people who invest in that debt, like pension funds, endowments, et cetera, et cetera. So it creates that domino effect, because if you can't work and you can't earn a living, then you can't pay your debt. Then the bank is in trouble. Then the creditors are in trouble. The bondholders are in trouble. So it creates this domino effect, because now the debt starts to spiral out of control. And then what does the government do, right? Rather than actually printing enough currency to cover these debts, instead what they do is they create more debt, right? So what happens is now you have to create twice as much debt now to be able to get the economy back up to speed, right? So you keep going through these boom and bust cycles where you have to keep creating more debt to fund the economy, because almost everything we do in our entire economy is based upon someone going into debt. And then when you get into fractional reserve lending, where basically, you can put $10 in a bank account and the bank can lend up to $9 of that. And now some banks, they can lend out the whole 10. You start creating more and more and more debt. So the velocity of debt is much faster than the velocity of money. And that's one of the biggest problems that we have. So they call deflation the fact that you can't basically pay off your debts. So they create more inflation, but the inflation is through actual debt. And that becomes the problem, which keeps creating this boom and bust cycle. And we're just getting to the point now where these debts are so big. Like, a lot of people don't understand exponential growth. Like when you go, 2 to the second power versus 2 to the third power, they think, oh, well, you just increase the exponent by 1, right? But you're doubling every single time, right? So you start getting to the point where the debt starts getting so big that it's mathematically impossible to pay it back, because now we're talking about overall $150 trillion worth of debt. Like, that's insane when you start thinking about it. And then now you have to say to yourself, if the debt keeps compounding and growing at a certain rate, then, by the time we get to 2040, 2050, 2060, we'll be talking about $300 trillion worth of debt, right? That system is getting to the point where it's unsustainable. And this is where the Great Reset comes into play, right? Because this system was designed to fail. And so many people don't understand that. Like, the system is designed to fail. It's not designed to thrive. It's designed to fail. The system is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, right? Create a bunch of wealth, create a bunch of innovation, and then allow the elites to sit at the top and reap the benefits of all of this new innovation. And like I said, we're getting to the point now with technology where a lot of these jobs and individuals and people just aren't needed anymore. And that's where we start getting to the scary point, right? When we start looking at it from that standpoint, that, we're getting to the point where human life just isn't valued anymore. Like, before, you were valued at, $7.15 or $7.50 an hour. And then now there's a robot that can do exactly what you can do. So it's like, what is your true value in the world at this point? And the elites, they view you as you don't have any value, So, and again, this is not me saying these things. It's just a matter of just the reality in the world we live in. I think MLMs are a waste of time. I first got started with MLM. I got started with MLM back in. That was the first thing. So that I got involved. Maybe I would say 2008. I got involved with the MLM in 2008, and then I learned a lot. I would definitely say that MLM is good for learning. It's good for being around like-minded people. So for someone like myself who, grew up in a quote-unquote proverbial hood, didn't really come from an academic background, didn't really have a lot of entrepreneurial people around around me growing up. I would definitely say that MLM helped me in terms of just seeing a different way of living, the fact that you could be an entrepreneur, the fact that you could start a business. But I just think like today with technology, with merchant accounts, it's so easy to get your own merchant account. It's so easy to find a product or service to sell. It's so easy to create content now. Like literally, you don't even need a fancy webcam or a microphone. Where's my iPhone at? My phone, this $1,500 phone, has a better webcam than the webcam I'm using. The microphone on here is pretty decent. I could just get a stand and I can start creating content right from my particular phone here. I told you guys like there's YouTube channels where all they do is review tech products. Like, and I told you, if you get a credit card, you can go to B&H and you can buy a product and you can return it after reviewing it, right? Like that's what you can do. You can go to Best Buy, you could buy a microphone, you can record yourself reviewing that microphone, and you can create a whole entire YouTube channel and personality around, reviewing products and services. For example, you can join my Tech Academy and then do a review on it. You can join BitBoy's, group and do a review on it. Like literally, you can do that. Now, in terms of these, Forex MLMs and these crypto MLMs, here's what I will say to you. If you are a trader and you're making $10, $15, $20, $30,000 on a monthly basis trading, why the hell do you need an MLM? It doesn't make any sense, right? Like, because you get to a point where your skill set, your skills in the market, now you're just compounding money. So why do you need an MLM? It doesn't make any sense, right? So when I see that, I always ask myself, are these people making money from hitting the button and actually trading, right? Or are these people making money by getting you to sign up with the illusion that they're hitting the button? Many of these people in these Forex MLMs, they don't trade. It's really just a sign up game, right? It's getting you to join and then finding a bunch of other people that you can get to, sign up as well. So I will tell you that I just feel like many of these things are a waste of time today. Maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was necessary to find groups of like-minded people. But like right now, it's 156 of us. It would take me months of walking around, maybe even a year, to get this many people to my network marketing presentation, 155 people. Like I don't think I've ever in the history of my time at that company was able to talk to 155 people at one time. But because of the power of the internet, it's easy to join a Reddit forum, right? Or join something like My Tech Academy, or watch a YouTube stream, or be a part of Earn Your Leisure or whatever. And get into a Facebook group and find like-minded people. We're more interconnected today than ever before. So I think you don't need these MLMs like you needed them back in the day. It's easy to distribute and create your own products and services. It's easy to get merchants. It's easy to get credit. It's easy to find people. It's easy to find customers as well, right? So it's very, very, very simple to do. But what I've also realized is that because of the economic conditions that we're in, and because many of you, and again, I'm not saying this to be mean, many of you lack formal education. And formal education is important up until a certain degree. It's important to know how to read and then comprehend and understand what you read. Because it's one thing to read some words. It's another thing to comprehend and understand what you're reading. I think that many of you don't value education. So therefore, it's very easy for people to swindle you and bamboozle you with bullshit, because you lack the proper, thought process in terms of like what's really valuable and what's not valuable. And because you don't have a good education, and therefore you probably don't have a good economic background, you become very desperate and impressionable. So if a person is driving a nice car, if they're in large groups of people, if they have material wealth and jewelry, you think that they're wealthy, and therefore if you buy their course or their product, you in turn too will be wealthy, right? So It's important that you understand that. And this is why, like, if you're a part of My Tech Academy, one of my members said, they said, damn, man, you share a lot of articles in the group. That's because reading is important. Reading will help with your vocabulary. It will make you a better public speaker. It will make you much more knowledgeable. It's great for the brain. It keeps your brain stimulated and engaged. Very, very important. And then it gives you so many different counterpoints, so that when you're exposed to so much different information, subconsciously you start feeding yourself with different things and different thought processes, and it stretches you. A lot of people don't like to read. And that's one of the biggest problems, is that a lot of you don't like to read. Reading is fundamental. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but it's very, very important to read for your brain. What happens with many of you is you want microwavable success. You just want to watch a video, smoke your weed, drink your liquor, hit the club, and, work for an hour or two and get rich. And I'm here to tell you, it doesn't work that way. You have to put in work to really get the things out of it, right? Because the beautiful thing about reading is that as you read more, your comprehension increases and you start to retain more information as you keep getting exposed to it. So then you become knowledgeable in a particular industry. And then now you could go out here, you can start commanding value in the marketplace because you're valuable. You have information and a skill that most people don't have. And that puts you at a competitive advantage when you read a lot, because a lot of people don't read. So I try to, like I said before, I try to, I give you guys, so I can sit up here and talk about crypto for an hour because I read for 4 or 5 hours a day. Like, I'm constantly, all day long, I have my phone in my hand. I'm either responding to you guys in the group, responding to emails, or I'm reading something all day long. I'm reading something all the time. So it's second nature to me. If you ask me, who's Hal Finney? I know it. Stuart Haber, creator of the original blockchain Xerox. I know these things. What is the EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine? Like, I know these things, right? So I know this stuff because I'm constantly reading it and engaging it. And another thing I do too that a lot of you don't do is I follow a bunch of people who I disagree with. See, many of you spend a lot of time in echo chambers. So you only listen to and hear things that fit your worldview and your confirmation bias. So it's very hard to know if what you really truly believe is correct. I follow nothing but Bitcoin maximalists. I think Bitcoin maxis are the dumbest people in the world. They're the most ignorant people I've ever come across in my life. But engaging them, debating with them, going back and forth with them, it sharpens your viewpoints as well. And it also helps you stretch and grow your vocabulary and your thought process and your perspective. So I think that is good to follow. So if you're a Democrat or you're a liberal, it's good to follow conservatives and Republicans, right? Or libertarians, right? Or, if you're a libertarian, follow a socialist or a Marxist so that you can get their talking points down and see if maybe they do have a point, right? So that you don't suffer from confirmation bias, right? I think that it's really, really beautiful to do that because it sharpens your sword. But many of you just don't do that. The Aboriginal man says, what's my take on Cosmos? I don't know enough about AMP to really talk to you about AMP, but Cosmos is one of my favorite cryptocurrencies. It's on my top 5 list. I put Cosmos up there with Polkadot in terms of being interoperable, being able to talk to other blockchains. If you look at my investment thesis in terms of all of the projects that I invest in, I mainly invest in cryptocurrencies that solve problems, right? Like all of this technology works in terms of, being able to send crypto back and forth, in terms of it being secure and being safe, all of this stuff without the admin key garbage, right? Most of this technology works. What we do need now is we need scalability. We need more throughput. We need blockchain. We need bridges. We need blockchains to be able to talk to each other. We need to be able to get data into blockchains. So I really like to invest in a lot of infrastructure. And when I look at things like Polkadot and Cosmos, where they're trying to allow blockchains to be able to talk to each other and interoperate and be interoperable and talk to each other. It reminds me a lot of what happens with the internet. Like when I go on a website and HTTP and HTTPS and TCP and IP and IPv4 and IPv6, and SMTP and all these different protocols, they're all behind the scenes and they're talking to each other and communicating with each other, and you don't feel it. It's a seamless transition. Many of you don't even know, nor do you have to know. That's what I believe is going to happen in the future with many of these blockchains, where you're going to be dealing with Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain and Avalanche and Cardano and XRP, if it, let's just say, survives, and all of these blockchains will be talking to each other. Chainlink will be feeding data in, the Graph token will be indexing this data, and it'll just flow seamlessly, and you won't have to worry about it. And that's what Cosmos and the and Polkadot are trying to do, like trying to create a blockchain infrastructure that's interoperable. And I think that to me is the future, right? Creating a real ecosystem where like bridges and where blockchains can talk to each other, rather than creating, because everyone's tribal, right? Everyone wants to believe that Ethereum's going to rule them all, or Solana's going to rule them all, or Avalanche is going to kick Cardano's ass. And the reality of it is I believe that whoever can create the like what ThorChain is trying to do, right? Be a cross-platform DEX, right? Like a multi-platform decentralized exchange. I think that type of technology is going to be really, really important. That's why I'm so bullish on Cosmos and on Polkadot, because I believe that they're going in the right direction in terms of allowing blockchains to be able to talk to each other. That's going to be really, really powerful, right? But ease of use is key. Exactly. They call like the user experience, right? The UX and the UI is going to be really, really important for crypto going forward. But that's how, I'm a real big bull on Cosmos, because it's basically trying to create interoperability between blockchains or within its ecosystem, right? Where you can have multiple things talking to each other at one time. Ren is a really, 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 really interesting project right now. I started buying some Ren, especially when it got lower. Nothing crazy, but definitely allocating capital to Ren. Ren is a really, really interesting project to me. Still diving into it. It's very, very complex, the Ren project, but I'm definitely a fan of Ren and what they're trying to do. But it's really, 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 really complex. I believe that Ren is probably one of the more complex projects. Ren and Polkadot are two of the most complex projects I've come across in crypto. Just in terms of looking into that particular, project. Cybersecurity is worth learning. Cybersecurity is definitely worth learning. Now, in terms of entry level, there's not a lot of money in it. But what you're going to start to find, and this is in most technology based jobs, right? So I come from more of a software programming development side when I focus and talk about technology, but this can apply just in general. Technology is not really a industry where you can be like an entry level, low level employee. The problem you're going to run into with a lot of entry level jobs in tech is that it could be outsourced to people in the Middle East, or in people in parts of Asia. So you're not going to really see a lot of opportunity in entry level, low level work in tech. Technology is a place for, it's a high stakes business, high reward. Like, it's a place for talented people. If you're really, really talented in a particular field in tech, the world is yours. Even if you're mediocre, the world is yours. But if you're just like an entry level person looking to get started, it's going to be really tough to get your foot in the door, because again, a lot of this low level, entry level work can be outsourced to other people. So cybersecurity definitely has a place. You have to really, really become real versed in what you're trying to do, and you can't just go broad. Like, you got to really pick a particular niche that you want to drill down in. That's a good question, Darius Harper. What does our society look like by 2030? I believe it looks like Elysium. If you go and watch the movie Elysium, I believe that movie has Matt Damon in the movie. And a lot of you, you always say like, oh, why are you always referencing movies? Because movies are simply they're foreshadowing what's to come. So Elysium is a really, really good movie where the poor people, they live down here on the ground, and like their days are basically like mapped out for them, and everything is based upon like trying to survive. And then up in the sky, there's like this, infrastructure, like this star, like a spaceship, but it's shaped like a big star. And that's where the elites live, the wealthy people, and they have the technology to cure everything. Like literally, they have a cure for everything, and they can basically live like extended life, for extended periods of time, or they can cure you or heal you, and they're basically keeping the masses away from that technology. That's the type of world that I see in 2030. Like right now, if you unplug from Instagram and from YouTube, go walk in the South Bronx here in New York City, and go see the level of homelessness and mental health issues that are rampant. I was hanging out, for those of you who follow me on Instagram, right? I was hanging out partying last week, and I had an incident with some people that I was with. And it was amazing to me to realize just how ignorant and dumb a lot of people truly are. But then I realized it's not that they're ignorant and dumb. A lot of people have mental health issues. And then when you combine that with drinking, and you combine that with the emotional toll that people are going through, where they've been cooped up in their homes, they can't really move around like they normally used to do. A lot of people can't mentally handle this, and you'll be surprised, like especially in our community as Black people, mental health is a serious thing. Like we think just because a person can speak well, or when I say speak well, I mean like just like talk to you, and they can put on a pair, they can put their underwear on and put some deodorant on, brush their teeth, that they're normal. A lot of motherfuckers are crazy. They are certified, bona fide, batshit fucking crazy. And I was sitting there and I said to myself, like, I felt so out of place being around those people, like watching the way they behave and the things that they're willing to fight over and the things that they're willing to argue over, and how just reckless they are with their lives and their behavior. Like you start looking and you start saying to yourself, like, why are you, like, you're going to go to jail if you do that, right? Like you're looking at them and you're saying to yourself, like, nigga, if you do, there's a camera right here, like, right, there's a camera. What you doing it right in front of the camera? And I don't give a fuck. Fuck. Well, and you look at you like, but you could come back. You know where he live at. You don't have to do it right in front of the camera. You can come back next week, or you can go to his house. And exactly what you're going to do right now, you can go and do it to him at his house. Hell, you could go break in his house, go through his window and wait for him to come home and just do it to him in the house. You don't got to do it in front of the camera. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Lock me up. And I'm saying to myself, I'm like, in his world, he doesn't give a fuck. He's telling you, I don't give a fuck. And here's me, common sense. I'm saying, bro, it's a camera, bro. It's a camera, bro. Don't do it. I don't give a fuck. I ain't afraid to go back to jail. So why am I saying this? People are crazy, and they're in a space in their life where they don't have nothing to lose. They don't care. So now when we're talking about where does this go in terms of life in 2030, think about the fact that this man who's willing to throw his life away in front of the camera, all over the fact that he's just drunk, mind you. But he has 4 children. 4 children. So now we're going through the 4th Industrial Revolution, doesn't have any skills, doesn't have a real education, ignorant as a mother. And then now this person has children. So now you have to ask yourself, what type of, programming and morals and instincts is he instilling in his children? Or is he even involved in these children's lives? Right? Government's taking care of him. Barely. So when you fast forward that out to 2030, what do you think those kids are going to grow up to become? Hell, one of them may make it through. But the reality is most of them probably won't. And they're going to adopt that mentality. And they're going to be roaming and rummaging through these streets with no real opportunity. Because remember, all of the jobs are being taken away or they're being automated, right? There really is no education in these schools. And then they have these devices, but they spend their time on TikTok and watching Instagram. So what do you think 2030 is going to look like? It's going to look like hell. It's going to be the best of times and the worst of times, because you got people like me who cares. And then you got people who don't care. And this is where you're going to get this gap, right? Where there's going to be the people who have and the people who don't have. And I was sitting there while I'm watching this and I was saying to myself, there's absolutely nothing I can say to him to stop him from going down that path. He's made his mind up that he doesn't give a fuck. And there's a lot of people in the world walking these streets that just don't, and excuse my language if your children are watching, I'm sorry. But I came to that realization, like when I was sitting there, I was saying to myself, I was shocked that a person would like just have no regard. Like, you're going to jail. You're in front of a camera. But they just don't care. And then you start looking at it and you just start saying to yourself, like, you have to create separation. And this is what's going to happen. A lot of Americans, they're going to feel betrayed by their government. And see, like the movie The Purge, right? It's important that you start watching these movies because it's predictive programming. It's foreshadowing what's to come. A lot of Americans are going to start realizing that their government has failed them. And they're going to start taking matters into their own hands and trying to police their own communities. And you're going to start creating these enclaves of people who start banding together and sharing resources amongst each other. And it's going to create this, turf war type thing. And that's what I really believe, 2030 is going to look like. Like, people are going to have these pockets of togetherness where they share the same morals and values and systems. And then you're going to have these outskirts, right? And at a certain time, like, you have to be in your home, like a real, like, Mad Max scenario type of situation is what I see. Like, sort of like RoboCop. I don't know if you ever seen the movie RoboCop in like Detroit, where they had like the OCP and stuff like that. At a certain time, you're going to have to be in your home, because like I was just sitting there and I was saying to myself, like, when I was in Miami was beautiful, man. Everybody's getting money. Everyone's beautiful. You can go out to the club. Everybody got a gun on them, so no one's worried about no craziness happening. Everyone's out there. Even if you're too drunk or you messed up, people make sure you get home. Like, it was just like, it was beautiful. It was like love. And then, like, you come back to New York and you like, whoa, like this, because this place breeds, ignorance and survival of the fittest, because you put all of these people in one small space and you have them all competing for a limited amount of resources. So it creates this mentality of, I gotta do the basics to get by. Right. So, I see that definitely, like, 2030 looking like a purge scenario, like a Hunger Games, where like you're going to have people, clustering together to protect what they have and keep what they have. And a majority of people just out here, just, again, not giving a fuck. Let's see what some of you are saying. So Some people completely give up on themselves. Risks don't register. Absolutely, Real Tech Journal. Absolutely. Formal though. Mental illness combined with the fact that some people do not value themselves creates a recipe for disaster. Yes, absolutely, Bryce. Absolutely. They do have to do it. They don't have to do it in front of them. They do have to do it in camera. It says, I guess you missed the why. It says they do have to do it in front of the camera. It's called show offism. Nilly Fuller Jr. I need to study a little bit more of Nilly Fuller Jr. I came across some of the work, but not all of it. Yeah, but the sad thing about it is that we're in our 30s now, right? Like, so when you start talking about show offism, you have to say to yourself, like, man, we in our 30s. Like, soon we'll be in our 40s. Like, we're 30-year-old men and women now. We're not 20 anymore, and we're hanging out on Thirsty Thursdays to get wasted. Like we're adults now. We're young men. We're not always saying young. We're men now. At a certain point, life experience should just teach you to, stop the foolishness, right? And then also, see, what bothered me so much about the behavior of not just him, but just all of the people is it's not about whether or not you care. What about me? Like, if you go out here and you do that, now I'm caught up in whatever criminal case you're involved in now because I'm a witness to what you're doing, right? So the fact that you don't care about you is bad, but the fact that you don't care that you may be potentially putting me in harm's way shows me then that like it's one thing not to care about yourself, but you should at least be mindful enough to care about other people, right? And that to me is what just threw me for the loop, was just like the fact, like, you can be so reckless that you could put other people, in danger of, potentially losing their life or losing their freedom or being caught up into whatever foolishness you're going to get into. One thing about me, I always think about other people before I do certain things, and how would it put other people in harm's way, right? That's just intelligence. Oh, that's interesting. You feel that way, Alex. Crypto is a waste of money. That's great. Crypto made me a millionaire, so I'll sign up for that waste any day. It's called the concrete jungle for a reason. Yeah, well, listen. At a certain point, man, you have to grow, and if your mentality is that you live in a concrete jungle, so therefore you must behave like you're in a jungle, you just can't be around me. I'm sorry. I didn't make it this far in my life to just throw my life away because you're drunk and you can't control yourself at that moment. It takes a split second to make a bad decision and lose your freedom or lose your life. Oh, that's a good question, Terrell Green. Where do you see people like Jay Morrison, Boyce, and Polite in 2030? I see them on top of the world. I see them becoming multi-millionaires, getting into the 50s to the $70 million range. People like Boyce. I see Boyce getting filthy rich. And I'm not being sarcastic or funny. As times become, as things get worse and people become more desperate, people like Boyce are going to become an authority. Jay Morrison, you got to think about it. He has $14 million under management. I see him milking that fund for everything it's worth. And, if he's smart, I believe he is. He's going to turn, because he's already turning. You can already see Jay Morrison making a pivot towards being like a preacher, like a pastor, right? Like the corner class, the Money Church Mondays, a lot of the cadence that he uses. He's anointed oil. We prayed over these lands, all of that stuff. I see him creating a community, creating a church, a cult-like following, and really making some big money doing that. I really see him doing it big, because that Hotep back to Africa, red, black, and green crowd, they love a Jay Morrison. Like Jay Morrison's like a god to them. Like he's talking about OG Gurley or OW Gurley, whoever the individual is. I always get that name wrong. Or Marcus Garvey. Man, he will listen. He's going to rake it in. Boyce, like I said before, Boyce is going to become an authority in this space as people become more desperate. Boyce is already about to create the B1 coin. He spoke about that. I saw him posted on Twitter. He said, "Family, I'm working on a B1 coin." Boyce is going to cash in crazy with the B1 coin. I could see Boyce, easily probably making like $5 or $10 million on the B1 coin. So trust me when I tell you, Boyce. Now, Polite's going to probably be in jail. Polite is he's not as crafty as a Boyce or a Jay Morrison. Like Jay Morrison is his acting skills are amazing. Like when he said, "Shame on you, devil," like Polite's just like Polite's full of shit. The way he carries himself is just like, nah. Polite's not going to probably make it for the next few years, right? But Boyce is going to definitely do well. And I could definitely see Jay Morrison doing well. I could see Boyce and Jay Morrison teaming up, seriously, and really, really doing well. Soul Shader Crypto Podcast says, "Do you believe advanced hackers will be born who come from poverty will become the new version of a criminal, but in the technological age?" Absolutely. Like activist hackers or like anonymous. We already have that, right? We have anonymous right now. People who want to attack the system, but attack it from within with technology. Absolutely. Again, they had a video game called Deus Ex about that, activist hackers and stuff like that would like equip themselves with like heavy machinery and technology and try to do combat the government. Absolutely, I see stuff like that happening. 100% is happening now, right now. I definitely see that. And that gives me hope, right? That's the whole purpose of cypherpunks, right? The whole cypherpunk movement was trying to bring, use technology to bring more privacy and transparency to systems and governments. So I definitely see that. Like, look at Julian Assange and Eric Snowden, right? That was all about activism and using technology to, be a whistleblower and leak information. So I definitely see, the younger generation coming up, the people right now who are maybe 13, 14, 15, realizing that they can't beat a standing army with with guns, but they can do it with technology. So definitely can see that 100%. JS, thank you for the donation. Salute, Elijah. I know you mentioned the end of July. Can you see Bitcoin and alts may start rising up again as it is now, or do you believe it will retract? So this is going to be the major test for us, JS. And again, thank you for the donation. If we can break above 44,000, push up to 46, somewhere in that range, and if we can pull back down to 40 and hold it, if we can hold that 40,000, 38,000 range, and then like again do like a what they call those things, a bull flag, or like some type of a pennant where we create a triangle where we have our support going flat, and then we have the triangle coming down the slope. If we can stay in that range, maybe for the month of August, meaning that we float in, if we can stay between 46,000 and 38,000, somewhere in that range, and just fluctuate, and we push up to the upside, yes. If we don't hold, if we come back down in here, back down here to 32-ish, and start flirting with this, we're going to take this out and push down to 24,000. Like I said before, I told you guys that's the barometer right now. Now again, as long as everything stays the way it is, the market should continue higher. No lockdowns, no interest rate increases, no shocks on inflation. Everything remains the same. We're going much higher. We're touching 100K Bitcoin by the fall. We're touching $5,000 Ethereum by the fall. If not, then we're going to go lower, right? It all depends on just in terms of the economy. Because remember, we have no control over these lockdowns. If these lockdowns come out, then everything's going lower. Hope that answers your question. Umar said in 2017 that he had raised $700K for the never-ending school scam. He's been on the Breakfast Club 3 times since then. Absolutely. Levy the Giant. There's no transparency or accountability in our community. We don't believe in transparency or accountability. We allow people. Boyce should have been canceled after Charles Wu. There should have been no way that Boyce could show his face after Charles Wu. Like Charles Wu came out and basically effectively said that he uses our plight and Boyce crying to market the product. So flat out, basically what he's saying is Charles Wu is using our pain to get us to buy products and services that are inferior products and services. Right? Like Charles Wu should have basically put a nail in Boyce's coffin. He should have been shunned out of the community. But again, we have a community where there's no standards, right? There's no code, right? People talk about the code, but there is no code, right? It's basically get the bag by any means necessary. So this is why, like, you never see me. I don't profess to be a B1 or pro-black or back to Africa or red, black, and green, because I know that most of that shit is bullshit. I know that the people who preach it don't believe it. I know the people who talk about it the most, they don't follow that code. They use that rhetoric and that talking point to get you to let your guard down and lose your discernment, to then buy into the foolishness that they preach and give to you, And then after the Charles Wu stuff, the Tulsa real estate scheme should have been enough for you to basically fall back from all of these people. But again, it keeps happening. Like Umar Johnson is a man who, he's telling you he only received $750,000. Yet in a video, he's going donations, gifts. If he received $750,000, that's verified between PayPal and GoFundMe, and he's counting gifts in front of you, and then he goes, "Sister, you only sent me $10, make it $20." That's more than $750,000, right? So the fact that he can even quote that number and everyone doesn't push back tells you that these people don't have a spine whatsoever. Because literally he's in your face counting $1 more than $750,000. Right? He tells you the white attorney sabotaged him. Right? And that he didn't get the tax exempt, status that he needed. So why are you not telling us about this white attorney that sabotaged you? You have an opinion about, Naomi Osaka. You have an opinion about Byron Allen and who he's screwing and who he's dating, right? You could talk about everything else that's going on. Why not tell us the name and the firm that this lawyer worked at? Why not file a class action lawsuit or some type of a lawsuit against him? All of these contractors, you have all of these contractors. None of the white contractors want to work with you, and all of the black contractors are overcharging you. So why not put them on blast? Why not mention their names? Why not inform the community and warn the community of these potential plumbers, electricians that are getting over on you? Why not? See, when you are equipped with common sense, you just ask basic questions and they lead you to the point where what you're saying doesn't make sense. What you're saying doesn't make any sense. You have a team and your team didn't inform you that you don't have tax exempt status, and that before acquiring the building, if you don't have tax exempt status, you're going to be on the hook for hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxes. Doesn't make any sense. But see, Umar Johnson understands that the people he's talking to, again, what did I say before? When you don't have a formal education and you can't really, you don't have comprehension, listening and reading comprehension, a person can come to you and tell you anything because you're not really processing the things that the person is saying to you. Like if you and me are sitting here and we're talking and you tell me you have a team, then there's absolutely no reason why you should have purchased a building without inspecting the building and without making sure that you have all of the proper documentation from a legal perspective to not have to incur all of these fees, right? The blueprints. How are you buying a building if the city hall or the government entity doesn't have the proper documentation for the building? That doesn't make any sense, right? Because an attorney is supposed to assay and get all of that stuff before you even go that route. It just doesn't make sense to me, right? So you're buying a building without the proper blueprints. That means you didn't do a proper inspection. Doesn't make sense to me. Like none of these things that the person is doing makes any sense to me. Here we are. We're what, 7 years, 8 years into? We still haven't met the team. Who are these people on the team? So I don't think Umar Johnson is necessarily scamming people. I just think that he's not qualified. He took on too much, and it's the same thing that Jay Morrison did. Jay Morrison is the CEO, the CFO, and the CTO of the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, right? He's the marketing guy. Think about it. Jay Morrison is going to acquire the properties, find the people to rehab the properties. He's in charge of the marketing. He's in terms of the technology. He's in terms of the branding. He's in terms of the administrative stuff happening at the Black House. One man is going to do all of those things. Come on, it's impossible. And then be a dad, and then be a husband, and then teach corner classes. So effectively, you're not investing in a real estate fund. You're investing in the brand of Jay Morrison. That's effectively what you're doing. And you can see him, the way he's maneuvering, couples night at the Black House, networking spaces. It's really just a platform for him to basically brand himself. That's what it's about. And again, I'm not knocking it. I can never get mad at people for voting with their dollars. If you believe that Umar Johnson should get your money, give it to him. I'm just here to keep track of the score. Dwayne Hennett, can you show the community cdctracker.org? It is a great use case site for blockchain. Let's see what okay. Let's see. What is it called? CDC. Oh, CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency Tracker.org. CBDC. CBDC Tracker.org. Interesting. So they're announcing the Bank of Korea, Reserve Bank of New Zealand, State Bank of Vietnam, Ghana, the Bank of Ghana, Bank of Thailand. What else do you want to go with this? Because this isn't, central bank digital currencies aren't really a great use case, right? Of this technology. That's enslavement. So I'll wait for you to post another comment. We could definitely build on that. Thank you again for making me and my friends thousands. And did you just say Polite's going to be in jail? Hilarious. You a fool, bro. Almost more funnier than Mr. Swag J Morrison old videos. Haha, salute. Yeah, no problem, man. I'm happy that a lot of you guys are making money and are doing really, really well. With just a lot of my picks and things of that nature. I don't want to take account for your wins. I don't want to take responsibility for your losses. But listen, the market's doing really, really well. Speaking of, let's check on Telcoin. Let's see how my baby Telcoin is doing. Okay. My baby Telcoin is doing great. Malik says Bitcoin hit 60K in February during the height of lockdown. So why is it you believe another lockdown would negatively affect the price? Because remember, initially, the price when the lockdowns first came out, everything sold off, right? So you can't look at February. You have to look back at a year before that and look what happened. And we can do that right now, right? If we go back here. You got to go back here. I remember on this day, this was back here. This is December 18, 19, right here. You got to go here. When the lockdowns were first announced in February of 2020, look what happened. The market sold off heavy. The market, I can't see. It went from the high was 10,000 and Bitcoin went all the way down to 3,800. Right when the lockdowns were first announced, right? So you got to be mindful of that. We went from $10,000 Bitcoin all the way down to 3,858. So that's when the lockdowns were first announced, and then obviously Jerome Powell cranked up the money printer. I remember I did a live stream. I came on here. I said Bitcoin and Ethereum are exactly the same as they were the previous week. Nothing's changed. And then the Fed came and started printing money, and then as soon as the Fed started injecting all of that liquidity and the stimulus, we rallied up here from 3,800. And if you were following me, you should have caught that bottom, because I told you I was showing screenshots of all the crypto I was buying that day, and then we never looked back since then. We've just pushed up higher. So I believe the same thing if we go into lockdown will happen. Everything's going to snap down, the stock market, everything, if that happens. And then you know what to do. Like clockwork, you just buy, because you know the Fed's going to step in and monetize and inject liquidity. Dwayne Hennett, you could definitely post some more questions to dive a little deeper into the CBDC tracker. What's up, El Cool J? Marcus Garvey from 1922 to 1927 acted a lot like Umar, wasted money and would stop to make speeches. Speeches would sometimes cause them to lose the load because of the tropical heat. With his shipping company, got indicted and convicted for fraud with the stock sales, came out of that with millions in today's money, was lost and unaccounted for. Anti-Semitic outbursts at his lawyers / judges after being convicted. Yeah. As I said before, you can judge a person based upon how they lead. Do they lead with information and knowledge that you can verify? So I'm a big believer that if you're teaching me, right, I need to be able to research the researcher, or I need to be able to fact check the information. See, when you look at like the Polites of the world and the Dane Callaways, they create their own doctrines. They create their own information. So it's very hard for you to be able to counter their information, because they are the historian. They are the person providing you with the information. So, today they can believe one thing, and then tomorrow they could believe something completely different, right? We watch that stuff happen all the time. So you just, at a certain point, you just have to see things for what they are and see people for who and what they are. And I believe that a certain type of mind or a personality is attracted to an Umar or a Polite, right? I would never, I could literally tell a person that is raining dollar bills outside, they would not be attracted to my message. Umar only sounds intelligent and bright and sensible to a certain type of mind over a period of time. Like initially, Umar might say something that even I say, that's smart, right? He's brilliant when he says it. But then I'll listen to him a little bit more beyond the surface level rhetoric. And then you start realizing, like, wait, this man really doesn't know what he's talking about. Right. And then this is why it's important to just listen sometimes to people and listen to their rhetoric. They may be knowledgeable in terms of sound bites and the way they could put together words, but are they really professionals? Are they really well versed in deep in what they know? Not really. Because first of all, how could you be well versed in child psychology or just in the psychology field when you haven't worked in the field in so long? Right? Like when's the last time you've actually even worked with children? So these things are important when you start thinking about just in terms of staying up to date with the actual field, because things, especially with technology, like things are always evolving and changing. So yeah, Dane Calloway will say that he is the source, right? So it's very hard to audit the information that these people are presenting to you because they don't give you any sources. Like even Hassan Campbell, follow me here, right? And I plan on doing a video about this. When you look at Kwame Brown and you look at Hassan Campbell, there's no real solutions there. Now, I know what you Kwame Brown supporters are going to say. You're going to say, oh, he talks about coding. He talks about trades. It's not just about talking about something. If I have a platform and I have 150 or 300,000 subscribers, and I believe that coding is a skill set that can help the Black community, rather than beefing with Steven Jackson and Hassan Campbell, why not bring on some coders and make Wednesday be code day on your channel? If you believe that coding is what's needed, then why not have Wednesday be a JavaScript day, a HTML, JavaScript, and CSS day for free? You have the money to do it. You have the platform to do it. The people are giving you the donations. You believe that coding is the way to go. So why not bring a person on your channel that knows how to code? Because you bring other people on your channel to come talk about Hassan Campbell, right? Now, Hassan Campbell goes, coding can't fix the hood, because the hood, people have mental health problems. Right, I agree with you. I just told you about being around some ignorant niggas last weekend. So why doesn't Hassan Campbell bring therapists onto his channel, onto his platform, where they can perform therapy on people from the hood? Why doesn't he try to network and connect with therapists in the Bronx River area, in the South Bronx area, to actually work with people in the community? Right? Why not? Now, Mary Walton says he said he was doing that. When? I haven't seen it. I have not seen it. And I'm not talking about doing it one-off. I just said you every Wednesday. See, we know about the rappers that come and give out the turkeys on Thanksgiving. We've seen that play already. We've seen the drug dealer come in on the holiday, take the hood shopping. I'm talking about the consistency of doing it, right? Right? The consistency of doing it. We like, so that's why I say, like, you can't come and bamboozle me. I wasn't born yesterday, right? That's why I named my channel What Happened to Common Sense, because you can see through, you can just see that this Kwame Brown is the male version of Tasha K. You tune into Kwame Brown because he gives you entertainment. He's going to come on there. He's going to talk about Boyce Watkins this week. And I know what you're going to say. Well, they talk about him first. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have to respond. He's a professional athlete. He knows what it's like to be heckled and taunted. He doesn't have to. He chooses to, because he knows that's what you tune in to see, right? And then he's going to talk about Hassan. Then he's going to give Steven Jackson his mama's cooking. Then he's going to talk about Lil Nas X. And then all it's going to be is the same thing that people did to him, he's going to do to other people. And he's going to say, see, I told you about coding. I talked to you about those trades, giving you some of that mama's cooking. What about connecting people with the resources so that they can, level up, right? So it's just it's laughable, right? But now look, Mary Walton says he said he was putting it together. I'm not fussing at you. I just used to heard him say that true about the Tasha K. Yeah, he's the male version of Tasha K. Guys, there's plenty of black people in technology. Plenty of them. It's not hard to find them on YouTube. Plenty of them. Pay them and they'll come teach for an hour or two. It's not complicated. Not complicated, right? Not complicated. Same thing with Hassan Campbell. If you believe mental health is the key for black people, then why are you not getting black people mental health services? Why are you not connecting with mental health professionals? Right? Listen, it's about it. This is what it's about. I'm going to come on my channel and I'm going to joke on other black people. I'm going to pull up your past. I'm going to dox you. I'm going to talk about what your family did, what you've been through. And then what you're going to do is then you're going to go on your channel and then you're going to look up my info and then lie like a motherfucker, take it out of category. Because this is what they do, right? Purposely. And then my people, so you're going to give me your mama's cooking and then I'm going to come on here and I'm going to rock your snot box and close your curtains and TV. And then the people who like you, they're going to come here and laugh at me and argue in my comments. And the people like me are going to come in your comments. And again, I'm not knocking you. If that's what you want to do, right? It's entertainment, right? You watch Hassan for the train wreck and the shock value, and you watch Kwame Brown for the entertainment, period. Right? Period. But as I said before, we have to start understanding that that's their lane. It's not my place to tell you as an adult what you should or should not watch. That's not my place. I would never do that to you. I know my lane. I know that I will never have a big channel because most people who look like me don't care about the things I talk about. If I came up in here and I talked about rappers while I'm dressed like a rapper, while I'm promoting a rapper on my channel, while I'm quoting rap lyrics in my stream, I'm talking about how rappers are bad for the community while I'm dressed like a rapper, promoting a rapper, and quoting rap lyrics in my stream, but telling you I'm against the rapper. See, I would never appeal to that logic. I just wouldn't, right? Because I'm a coon, I'm an agent, I'm Uncle Tom, I'm a Sambo, I'm a self-hating black man, I'm a pussy warrior, I'm a rainbow warrior. I would never make sense to you, right? But intelligent people can look at that shit and see it for what it is. Right? And intelligent people can look at it and just laugh at it because they see it for exactly what it is at the end of the day. And I tune in sometimes and I laugh at it. Right? Like young Pharaoh was just calling the white man the devil. I didn't say this, he said this. Now he has a white nanny. You gotta laugh at this type of stuff, right? The black woman was God. Now his black woman's all type of be this and be that and calling the police on each other and getting restraining orders. But what happened to God? What happened to God? So, all right, black woman was God, right? That's what I thought. You can evolve. S-Rep. We all can evolve. If you went back and you saw me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was not the person I am today. We all can evolve. We all have a past. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is when you watch a person make such an extreme shift, right? Now you have to ask yourself, what did I get out of the following down that doctrine? See, if we're talking about group economics here, right? And I'm supporting your vision and your mission, right? And you're telling me, this is what you're telling me. excuse me, don't trust white people. White people are bad. And I follow that. And then I see, whoa, okay, I followed that. And I didn't get anything out of it. But then I watch you make a complete pivot. And you have a nice house now. You have nice jewelry now. You have, a whole bunch of material wealth. Then I can't take you serious anymore. You can evolve as an individual. I'm not saying that you can't evolve. What I'm saying is that me, the watcher, me, the follower now, I can't follow you anymore. I can't take you serious anymore. I can't hold you in no type of high regard anymore because I watched you do a complete pivot and you didn't get the success until you did all of the opposite things of what you were teaching. That's what I'm saying to you. So if I'm watching you and I'm watching you, your only level up in success happened when you changed your doctrine and your behavior, then I need to change my doctrine and my behavior too and stop listening to you. I need to turn you off. You can evolve. Great. I'm happy you evolved. I'm happy you leveled up. But then at that point now I know that I need to turn you off. That's all. Right? So that may be true, but the same could be said of Professor Black Truth and TBA. There needs to be a balance between education of our situation and acquisition of the skill to get out of it, aka wealth. No, see again. Okay. I've listened to Jason Black's podcast before or shows. Jason Black gives you sound information that can be acted on. I give you that. And he gives you entertainment. But again, does he coordinate people to actually build something or do something? See, the entire thing can't just be sit here and listen to me talk all day and give me money. What are you building? What are you coordinating? How can I measure and quantify what it is that you're doing? So I have to put, I like Jason Black. I think he gives great information. I think that he's different than those individuals, but he's still in that category as well. Because outside of him selling whatever, what was the thing that he said, race war or something he was selling? What is he actually coordinating and building? At least with Boyce, you can say he's building something. You may not think it's useful or that well put together, but at least I can say he's building something. He's providing you with something that you can walk away from, walk away with, right? He's not like a complete contradiction to everything. Like he's not sitting up here saying the white man's the devil and then turning around and now have a white nanny. He's not saying a black woman is God, but then he turns around and him and the black woman is arguing and fighting, and he's calling all type of B words, right? Mm-hmm. I disagree with you, Monty. Right? I don't find young Pharaoh intelligent or bright at all. Young Pharaoh suffers from the Dunning-Kruger effect. Young Pharaoh is not bright at all. Young Pharaoh finds confirmation bias. Young Pharaoh does not know what it means to do research. He does not understand the scientific method. He does not know what it means to be objective versus subjective. There's like, I don't find anything bright about young Pharaoh. Young Pharaoh takes things way out of context. And he definitely embellishes a lot. But you have to think about it. You're only as smart as your followers. Prime example. Months ago, I created a DeFi course and I misspoke in the course. But because the people in my academy are astute and are smart, when they went through it, they were like, hold on, that's wrong. Now, I'm humble enough and I'm intelligent enough to know what I don't know. And I know when I get something wrong to correct it. Young Pharaoh has made plenty of statements that have been factually incorrect. And when people have tried to correct him, rather than him saying, no, I'm incorrect, he lashes out and calls you motherfucker this, motherfucker that, bitch this, bitch that. That's what he does. So, you know, I don't look at that as a sign of intelligence at all. I don't see that as being intelligent at all. Intelligence is the ability to reflect and correct. Even in one of the live streams, my math was wrong one time where I was talking about averaging down. I said that it would be price of 5. It really was 666. Guess what I did? When a person corrected me, I could have deleted the comment and acted like nothing happened. I could have removed the video. Nope. I took the person's comment who corrected me with my math and I pinned it, right? Because the mark of intelligence is knowing that I will always keep growing. Young Pharaoh will delete a video or delete a comment. I've watched him do it. Like with Jay Morrison, we were talking about how Jay Morrison, you know, finessed you. I have a whole video talking about how he was incorrect. But see, where I'm going is that your followers should be able to correct you, right? Your students should eventually become master teachers themselves. If what you're really teaching is growing and building people up, right? It shouldn't be that you're just the master teacher and everyone follows, right? So I look at a lot of what young Pharaoh does, and I don't see it as intelligent at all. I see it as predatory. I think he's a predator. I think that most of these brothers and sisters, they have jailhouse mentalities, and they understand how to prey on weak black people, is what I see. Yeah, but many of the leaders in the black community, the black conscious community, are pseudo as well. you have people being Egyptologists and they never stepped foot in Africa, but their whole brand is based upon being an Egyptologist, and they've never stepped foot in Africa a day in their life, and they don't speak any of the dialect or any of the languages, right? So wouldn't you say that that's pseudo as well? Like, listen, most of that stuff that these people are teaching, man, again, it appeals to a very a demographic of people who they just lack listening and reading comprehension skills. It doesn't make any sense. Right? So let's just be real here. So like that whole conscious community to me is just funny. I've always laughed at it. Eli, what do you think about the Hidden History Museum Tariq is soliciting donations for? I think it's an absolute fucking joke. Again, another person who he's had a lot of information in his documentaries that have been proven to be incorrect, right? Or subjective, you know? So it's just, but again, it's not, I'm not hating on the people. If it's your money you work for, if you want to take your money and you think that we need a museum, go for it. I'm just here to keep track of the score. And I'm saying to you that these things, to me, they don't make sense. And I'm showing you, people say, well, what's the solution? I'm showing you. If I have a platform and I think that coding is the solution, then I should be providing you with coding resources. I should be giving you mama's cooking for coding. If I think that coding is a solution. If I think that mental health is the solution, I should be getting you mental health solutions. I mean, this isn't complicated. So, but listen, I'm a coon. I'm an agent. I would never, make any sense to the real ones. Yeah, I'm having one of my friends read a new book before I publish to make sure it's accurate as possible, because I don't want to sell a bad product that doesn't help people or leads them down the wrong path. Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with holding each other accountable and critiquing one another. Or if, guess what? No, no one gets it accurate 100% of the time, especially when you're speaking in public and you're speaking for hours. You're bound to misspeak, or you may say is instead of are, or whatever the case may be. Just when a person corrects you, put out the correct information, because if it's about the information, it shouldn't be about the messenger. But people have personality worship, and that's just the reality of it. Um, nah, he just cheating women out of their money. Yeah, I agree. Jason Black's talking about cut the check. Listen, man, Jason Black understands what he's doing. Just like he created the channel called The Business, because now he's trying to, he's trying to be like the masculine version of Kevin Samuels, because people view Kevin Samuels as being like a beta male now, trying to be a player. So he's trying to create the business brand and talking about men that wear male purses and tight jeans. Listen, guys, it's all about trying to monetize entertainment in different fields, whether it's red pill, blue pill, whether it's consciousness, whatever the case may be. Yeah, I thank you for the donation, Malik the Immaculate. I don't disagree with that. The question is, watching someone's YouTube video is not empowerment. Right? Watching a video is an empowerment. Action is empowerment. I can watch a guy right now. I want to get back in shape, right? I put on a lot of weight since COVID. I can watch a guy do ab exercise all day long. I could go, damn, man, you see those pro black muscles? You see those B1 muscles? You see that RBG back to Africa muscle right there? You see how the black man can get in shape? That's great. I watched another man get in shape. But unless I go lay my ass down on the ground and I start doing these ab exercises, I'm not going to get any abs. If you don't do work and action behind the empowerment speeches, it's pointless. Okay, Kwame Brown said we need coding. Great. When are you going to get to coding? Hassan said we need mental health. When are we going to get to the mental health? Jason Black said cut the check. Okay, great. When are we going to start getting our own politicians and political messages out here, or getting our own voting blocks? When are we going to start creating, because ADOS is trying to do that. Whether you agree with them or not, that's what they're trying to do. Right? Where is the action behind the empowerment? Right? Where's the action? Right? FBA conference. All right, great. You went to the FBA conference. You got that Hotep energy. What's next? Right? So, listen, I just... Oh, I can't show you what I'm working on right now, Dwayne Hennett. I'm working on some good stuff, though. I got some good stuff I'm working on. Have you heard of Abacus DCG, digital currency guy, and By the Hood podcast? Absolutely have not heard about it, but I'll look into it. Shoot me that on the DM, Jigga, so that I can go and look into it, because I will forget it. You can't be you can't be serious, Malik. I thank you for the donation, but you can't be serious. The purpose of the speeches is to decolonize our minds and get the people on accord. What do you think of last summer was about? I guess you're trolling, or you're trying to be sarcastic. Not trolling. I guess you're being sarcastic, right? Like you're being funny. Decolonize is the decolonization of our minds. I guess you're being funny and sarcastic, because that's a really good joke. Like, man, listen, If that's what you believe, brother, I'm not here to debate with you or argue with you. uh, I'm not here to argue with you, brother. If that's what you believe, if you think that we need to decolonize our brains, all right, great. Yes, I spoke about that earlier, Bryce XPX. The SmartCon is on the 5th to the 7th, and Chainlink's going to probably announce the staking, bringing staking to the Chainlink ecosystem, which is going to be big. I told you guys, Chainlink is by far my favorite cryptocurrency. I feel like it's the most valuable cryptocurrency, and Chainlink will usher in the Great Reset in the 4th Industrial Revolution. SmartCon is going to be big. Many of the industry's biggest speakers and biggest people, biggest names will be involved. I'll pull it up for you guys right now. Everyone in my academy should already know about SmartCon. SmartCon conference. Here we go. Boom. This is it right here, guys. Definitely get on this. I believe it's free. Don't quote me on that though. I'm iffy on Filecoin. I'm iffy on Filecoin. So we got three. It says 3 days into SmartCon. I thought it was from the 5th into the 7th. What's today's date? Today's the 1st. I guess it starts on the 4th. No, it says August 5th to the 7th. So why does it say 3 days? I guess the clock must be off. Yeah, the 5th into the 7th. It's a virtual event. I hope that for the Cardano investors, I really hope that they get the smart contract stuff out there. I really, really hope that happens. Because another delay would just be catastrophic for the Cardano ecosystem and for Charles. There's no way that they can have another delay, another hiccup, and people take this project serious. So I hope for Charles' sake, I hope for the investors' sake, they release the Alonzo update with no hiccups. Just because you get smart contracts doesn't mean you're going to be competitive in the smart contract space. You still need smart contract developers, right? And you need more than just the IOHK people, right? So that's going to be Cardano's, Achilles heel, is that how are they going to attract enough talent to really come there and build things, right? You need people to build things. And you're going to have to teach developers and people to, learn a whole new programming language and a whole new ecosystem. So they definitely have their work cut out for them, because again, your claim to fame can't just be just copy everything Ethereum do but give it to people for cheaper, right? Like that's not innovative. You're going to lose that game. Terrell Green says, I'm going to invest 10 racks in B1 coin. I'm doing it for the ancestors, y'all. Listen, Boyce said he's announcing the B1 coin. Boyce is coming out with B1 coin. But these are the speakers. Some heavy hitters are going to definitely be speaking there. Right? These are all of the speakers. Some real big heavy hitters will be there. So I know Ari's going to be speaking. Sergey's going to be there speaking. Kane from Synthetics will be there. These are all of the people that will be there. Alchemix, the co-founder. Burnt Finance, Sushi Swap, Aztec, Chainlink Labs, Etherscan, Badger DAO. Like literally all of the heavy hitters will be there speaking. So I would encourage all of you guys to get in there and just speak. I mean, listen to these people speak, because it's definitely going to be exciting. Smart contracts is absolutely the future, and you need oracles to power those smart contracts and make them as decentralized as possible in terms of the data to trigger those smart contracts. Yo, I know you mentioned Telcoin is like your new baby lately. What do you see the price of the coin can be by the end of the year? Also, best platform to buy it on. Best platform to buy it on is Balancer. Um, what's the name? With Balancer, you're going to have to come here and actually copy the Telcoin smart contract. You just click this copy and then paste it over into Balancer, and then you would swap whichever cryptocurrency you're using on Balancer to buy Telcoin. Again, if you join the academy, I'll walk you through all of those steps and show you how to do it. The reason why I like Balancer, excuse me, is because Balancer rewards you in the Balancer token whenever you're providing liquidity on their platform, right? So whenever you're trading on their platform, they pay you back in the Balancer token to offset the Ethereum gas fees. So it just makes sense to do that. Telcoin, we got as high right here as 6 cents. I see about 15 to 20 cents for Telcoin end of the year. So basically a 10x from here, and I believe a 10x is very doable. That'll put us at about a $10 billion market cap. But in terms of where Telcoin can go in the future, the sky's the limit, because we're talking about the remittance market, right? And that's a $700 billion industry. So, per year. So we don't know what the limit could be and how much of that market they could potentially get. But I'm a big fan of it, and I'm definitely looking to get a 10x out of it. Again, and people say, well, it's like you're just pulling those numbers out of your. No, I'm not. I'm not just pulling the numbers out of thin air. Look at Ripple. Ripple's worth $35 billion. Dogecoin's worth 27. That's about what? $60 billion right there. That's 50, 55 is the $62 billion. $62 billion is right here, right now, between these two cryptocurrencies. Dogecoin got as high, and I want to make sure I'm accurate. Dogecoin got as high market cap wise of as higher than $80 billion. And Dogecoin is complete shit. It is absolutely has no utility whatsoever. It got to $80 billion. You telling me Telcoin can't get to 10? Come on. Come on. Definitely can get to $10 billion. So looking for a 10x in price and 10x in market cap. And they're making Telcoin's just definitely making like huge inroads in terms of just the legal side of crypto, in terms of trying to be compliant as well. And that's what I like about them as well. So I plan on doing a whole presentation on Telcoin. That's one of my favorite cryptocurrencies. And look, while we've been sitting here, look, ETH is at 2,600. It's up 20% in the past 7 days. Bitcoin's up 20% as well. Ethereum going into EIP 1559 should pump massively. Look at this garbage. Let's look. Every time I look at Ripple, I just get disgusted. But that's the thing about markets, right? The more something is hated, the more it pumps. And that's what I've noticed about crypto. Like the more of a joke something is, the more it pumps. And that's the funny thing about it. One thing you can't deny is the politicians are talking about reparations, defunding, and punishment of the police. That in part is due to TBA and Professor Black Truth. All right, brother, if that's what you believe, I truly believe that you're being sarcastic, and I enjoy your sarcasm. You are giving me a good laugh, Malik Immaculate. I'll give you that. You definitely are giving me a good laugh. So I could definitely enjoy some good sarcasm. That's my type of humor. So I give you that. That's good. I never got into those high yielding interest things. I was a part of something similar to it though, called Banners Brokers, where like you would like buy these panels, and then like they were supposed to like pay you out every quarter, and it ended up being a big Ponzi scheme. It was called Banners Brokers, Banners Broker. I got involved in that back in like, damn, that probably was back in like 2011, 2012. Banners Brokers, wow. You just made me take it back with banner brokers. That was crazy. Then I was in another company called Empower Network. That wasn't like a Ponzi scheme, but it was just like a blogging platform. The founder ended up going crazy. And then I found Wake Up Now. And it's funny because Pocket Watch with JT just did a video on Wake Up Now. What are my thoughts on Billy Carson's options trading seminar? For what I understand, Billy Carson is a guy that's into like aliens and alternative information. That's what I know Billy Carson for. And when I like something like alternative media, alternative information. I told you guys, 1 week a person will be an Egyptologist. Next week they will be a cryptographer. Then there'll be a red pill relationship guru. Then they will turn into a reparations activist. Then they will be into real estate wholesaling. They will then know how to decipher the metal netcha. They know about the Rosetta Stone. They can then be historians and tell you about ancient history. And then they'll throw in a little bit of options trading. Every single week, whatever is trending, you can expect these super black intelligent people to always be able to offer you the solution. You know, what I think about it, I think it's absolute bullshit. I think that those of us that are smart, if you have an IQ above room temperature, if you are a person that's sitting up here and you're watching this, if a person tells you that they can trade options, tell them just simply show you their brokerage statement. Right? What is it to hide? That's like me telling you, guess what, I can code. You ask me, okay, well, can you code? So when you join my academy, you should see me coding. I tell you, I know about crypto, right? Like that's specifically why I have a 3-day trial on my product. Because rather than me just billing you, what I want you to do is I want you to join for free, see the value there, and then pay me. If I say I can do something, I should be able to prove I can do what I say I'm doing, right? If I say to you that I know about HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, I should be able to show that to you. If I say to you I know about cryptography, I should be able to demonstrate that to you and show it to you, right? Like 2 + 2, if you ask me, I should be able to tell you it's 4. If I can't give you answers, credible answers, right? Not, you have to buy the product and then know about it. No, I should be able to test your product out and see if it's good. Simple, right? These things are not complicated, right? So, but I find it disingenuous that a person can pretend that they have all of these different skill sets. Then why are you not wealthy? Why are you not rich? Or are you getting rich off the fact that you're selling people the idea that you can do something? I teach general programming with the hope that I can get enough of you to pick up general program to get to the point where we can start building out applications and utilizing Solidity. Solidity reads and writes exactly like JavaScript. It's not that hard to pick up the Solidity programming language. The problem is that if you don't have a basic understanding of just logical thinking and logical principles, then it's a waste of time. And that's been one of the biggest struggles with the coding bootcamp, is just getting enough people to go through the information. One of the biggest problems I've come across with the academy in general is like I create these big courses and most people don't go through them. They stop like after the second or third video. I mean, they keep paying, so I'm not mad that a person's paying. I understand life happens, but it's like, you create these courses and people don't really even use them. I understand that this is, is heavy information. I'm not saying that it's, is easy to pick up, but it's like you could do 20 minutes a day, but it's like, Like I just put like DeFi, like I just put together a whole yield farming decent strategy for you that I've back tested myself to see if it actually works. Because see, that's the thing with YouTube. Like people say, like, oh, you know, I can find this stuff on YouTube for free. No, you can't. You can find bits and pieces of it broken up, fragmented. You can find from A to Z a person actually back tested something and that it actually works and they put their own money into it. See, it's easy to watch Ivan on Tech, Chico Crypto, and BitBoy Crypto when they're getting paid to promote the things that they're talking to you about. It's hard to do the shit that I do. I have to put my own money into the things that I'm talking about. I then have to test it for an extensive period of time. I then have to scour the internet, go into the Discords, and make sure that the things that we're putting, the strategies that we're utilizing are somewhat safe. Now, guess what? If it's not, I end up getting burned. Right? So, you know, but again, so I'm confident in the product that I offer. That's why I gave it away for free for 3 days. I used to have a 7-day trial. So, but this is why I offer a lifetime membership, because when you're ready, eventually you'll get there. So, you know, before the summer's over, we'll be into Solidity, and building dApps and applications. So, and I plan on eventually transitioning to a technology-based channel, to just a My Tech Academy channel, where I'm going to be like Gregory from dApp University. That's where I plan on going with this. As we get ready to go into this next bull market, I plan on transitioning and basically getting rid of this channel and really transitioning heavily into a technology channel, or maybe keeping both channels. And then like on Wednesdays and Saturdays doing coding. That's what I basically plan on getting. I'm just trying to get enough people in the academy to be able to run the low level stuff for me while I take care of the high level stuff. And I'm not saying low level like trying to put people down. I'm talking about like the introduction courses, you know, teaching people like, you know, what's a div, how to make a nav, how to make a footer, you know, navigation bar, stuff like that. Like basic CSS principles, and then, you know, JavaScript principles. Because that's really what it's all about, is really just the fundamentals of programming. Because once you learn one programming language, you can pick up any other programming language. Like I would say like C and Java is hard to pick up, but like JavaScript and stuff is easy. Yeah, that's what a lifetime membership means. FYI, like as long as I'm alive and I'm here breathing, I'm going to be a technologist, and you can ride along with me. And then you have access to me inside of the Slack group. So yeah, I have a Bitcoin course, I have an Ethereum course, I have a Monero course, I have a DeFi course now. I had a JavaScript course, but that was too, like, I skipped over a lot of things. I was thinking that people could fill it on their own. So now what I did is I recreated the JavaScript portion, some parts, and then I created a whole new portion for HTML and CSS. So we're up to assignment number 2 now, and then one of these days I'll release assignment number 3 or 4 once I feel enough people are caught up. But then I'm getting to the point where I'm kind of getting like, I wouldn't say frustrated, but just like, just release everything. Good night, Coy Gibson. So, but again, this is why we have a free trial. Like, listen, if you think I'm a liar, take me up on an offer. Go through the free trial and see if it's worth it. You're right, Jazz Buzzard. That's a great question. If they do that, they're going to pump the prices insane for us. I don't mind them doing that. Remember, Jazz Buzzard, and I think that this is a problem that a lot of you keep missing, because you view crypto as a stock. Remember that this is technology. The price of crypto has nothing to do with the actual technology. So what do I mean by that? If Apple stock is up 20% or it's down 20%, it does not affect whether or not this phone works. So Apple stock can be down 20%. I still can send my messages. I still can FaceTime. The software still works on his phone. Whether Bitcoin is at 100K or 20K doesn't change the fact that it's still permissionless, it's borderless, and it's censorship resistant. Anyone can participate in the network at any time. These are technologies at the end of the day. So whether the price is sky high or the price is really, really low, I think a lot of you get caught up you get so caught up in the price of things that you're not understanding that the technology will work regardless of whether or not the price is up or down. At the end of the day, these are technologies that's designed to be disruptive and to remove middlemen. And that's the most important thing. So whether prices go up or prices go down, but you can't afford to participate if you can't afford it. Absolutely, you can afford to, because you can work for crypto. You can sell your services in crypto. You don't have to buy crypto to participate in crypto. You can mine Bitcoin. You can mine it with your GPU. You can mine it with your with an ASIC. You can sell your labor and your skills for crypto. You can work for crypto. You don't have to buy crypto in order to get paid in crypto, right? So, I think that, many of here in the West, we're speculating on the price of crypto. So because we get to get involved early, we're speculating on crypto. And at the end of the day, remember, you can buy fractions of a crypto. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin or one whole Ethereum. You can buy Satoshis, right? Denominations of the particular crypto. So, there will always be an ability for you to buy crypto. If you have $100, you can buy $100 worth of crypto. You can buy $50 worth of crypto because it's extremely divisible. So again, as I said before, guys, we have to be just a little bit more dynamic in our thinking that this is bigger than a stock market or a stock. We're talking about technology that's going to power the fourth industrial revolution, the digital age. Everything's going digital. There's no excuse why anyone can't buy crypto. So, and I would love for the government to print trillions of dollars. I mean, well, they're already doing that. So, the idea that they're going to print a bunch of money to pump the prices of crypto, they're already doing that, right? Most of the dollars that's in circulation was printed in the past year since the pandemic. So, we're already watching that happen. But that's a great question, Jazz. Great question. Soul Share the Crypto Podcast. I want to get the lifetime membership so badly. Once I'm in the military, I'm going to pay for this. I just like being around a lot of smart people who are doing life-changing stuff. Absolutely. And especially for the coding stuff, like I've been telling a lot of you guys, I just don't want to leave a bulk of the academy behind. So I'm trying to get at least, 10 or 15 of you up to just mediocre standards, and then we can really ramp up and go where we need to go. Because there's some people in the academy, they worked at Facebook and they were senior engineers and they still work in technology. So they're really just waiting for us to get to React and waiting for us to get to Solidity, right? And it's kind of like holding them up. But again, they're lifetime members too. So they're like, listen, when you get to us, we'll be fine. Because one thing, once we get to the database stuff, like the backend, like Node.js, after that, it's right to React, and then boom, we get to Solidity. And Solidity is easy to pick up. It's not hard. And then I gave, for those of you who are more advanced, I gave you guys Nadir. Nadir's a beast, in terms of just the technology. So you guys should already be playing with Solidity already with the documentation and stuff like that. And then I gave you guys the Chainlink Developer Bootcamp. So those of you that are more advanced, you should already be working towards the Solidity stuff. So by the time we get to you, you should already be knowing these things, and you could just really be putting your input in there, because I want to get it to a point where it's a collaborative effort, because many of you are going to go on to be better programmers and developers than I ever could, because you're going to have more time, right? I don't have as much time as you have to work on my programming and developing skills, because I'm running a business, I'm running investments. So if you're coding for 8 hours a day and I'm only coding for 2, you're going to be a better programmer than me, most likely, because you're spending more time at it. And that's a beautiful thing, right? That's the whole point of a teacher. I start you, and then you go wherever you want to go. And that's the whole point of it. Jacob says, I have a mentor who is a course creator. He's giving away courses on money management, starting a service-based business, and 90% of the cats never go through them. even his paid course, people half-ass it. Yeah, that's just people, man. People have life. Things come up. I'm not here to knock you. I'm just simply telling you the reality of what happens. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to half-ass my students or half-ass my academy. Just because a student may be half-assing it doesn't mean I'm going to half-ass it. Since I've been there, I think about this. Go to Earn Your Leisure and go and watch. Go look at the courses and things that they sell. Some of their courses probably are like 3 to 5 hours in terms of video content. My courses alone are probably well over, I would say, 50 hours between my courses and my live streams that I have in there. Are over 50 hours of content. Easily. Between my live Q&As and the Monero, the Bitcoin course, the DeFi course, I would say is over 50 hours of content and growing. And I did that in a year. One person, me, by myself. Q&As, questions. Then think of a person like a Zero Cool, how knowledgeable Zero Cool is, and just so many different ecosystems and stuff like that. You know, people like Great Filibuster, that's a trader. Like there's so much content in there. Like there's so and the Earn Your Leisure boys are charging you a lot of money for the stuff that they have to offer. So, you know, and again, I'm not knocking, not attacking. I'm just saying to you, if you factor in the amount of work I put in for what you're paying me, you're basically paying me less than minimum wage. I'm gonna make the profit on the back end because I plan on getting this to a mass scale, right? Because my goal is to get this to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 students, right? That's where the real bulk of the money will come in for me when I can grow this and scale this. But it takes time to script out stuff, like type it out, and then it's not easy to just talk to your microphone, like not talk to anyone and create content. So I take pride in all of the content that I create. You know, and I take pride in the academy. I don't half-ass what I do. Oh, look at my baby Polkadot. Polkadot's pumping. Chainlink, look at this monster. 41% in 7 days. Look at Solana. I love Solana. I love Solana. Matic still doing well. Polygon Matic is still doing well. ICP is finally going up. I got burned bad in ICP. I'm still down. I'm down about like what 50% ICP. You don't have to be a lifetime member, guys. You can be a monthly member. You don't have to be a lifetime member, right? We have monthly memberships. Just be a monthly member. What are my thoughts on trading crypto? I think it'll be a waste of your time, Jay Wilson. Crypto is too volatile and it's too manipulated, especially the exchanges. I would definitely tell you to not waste your time or money with that, because most traders get wrecked. 90% of people who trade lose all of their money within 90 days. And that's clear for the stock market. I would say it's even worse for crypto. I plan on doing a video about this guy right here, Alex Saunders, Nugget News, right? I'm going to go live tomorrow on this. I'm still doing some research, right? This is Mr. Alex has 147,000 subscribers. He's supposed to be a master trader, a great trader. Well, now it's been alleged that he's been running a Ponzi scheme, borrowing money from people, over leverage trading, blew up his accounts, and he keeps borrowing money from people to, try to make up for previous losses. And see, the beautiful thing about bull markets is everyone is a genius in a bull market. Everyone can tell you how much money they're making, right? And, he's telling you, I did a 70x here, I did a 50x here. Well, behind the scenes in his paid group, because he has a group like I have, but his group is more about research. he's borrowing money from his students, or he's getting them to invest money with him. And then it's come out he's been borrowing money from BitBoy Crypto. He asked Richard Hart for a 50 BTC loan. Do you understand how much 50 Bitcoin is worth? Now he's supposed to be a master trader. If you're a master trader, why do you need to borrow Bitcoin or money from people? Come to find out, he's in the hole for millions of dollars. Most of these people don't trade, and if they do, they're blowing up. They're gamblers. I'm not here to tell you not to. I'm just telling you, most of the people who claim they trade don't trade. See, I can show you I can actually show you my brokerage statements from when I used to trade futures, and I can show you a bulk of my money was made in 3 months out the year. That's the way trading works. Most of the year you're break even or you're barely down. A consistent. If you ever worked at a prop firm, a day trading prop firm, for a point and click trader, a manual trader, for most of the year the goal is to stay break even. You get these periods where there's a lot of volatility, and that's when you make your year. That's why trading is so hard, because you have to be able to get up every day, day after day, and be a robot and execute your trading strategy. And most days you're going to break even, or you may make just a little bit of money or lose just a little bit of money. It's those 3 or 4 months out the year that makes your year, right? It's when the pandemic happens and the volatility explodes, where you make that 50, 60, 80,000, $100,000 in a month, $200,000 in a month. And then you do that for three or 4 months. What you're hoping is that you don't blow up within those 7 to 8 months. And this is for professional day traders, right? They'll tell you that. Again, I got trained by the best at S&B Capital. I know what the hell I'm talking about. But again, many of you get lured in by these screenshots and these demo traders who, think about it. I have 2 demo accounts. I'm trading long on one demo and I'm trading short on another demo. One of those trades are going to win for the day. The winning trade, I post a screenshot and say, see, look, I made look at this. I made money today. You don't realize that it's a demo account, and you don't realize that I went long in one account and short in another account. One of those, because remember, the market can only do 2 things: either go up or go down. It's like flipping a coin, heads or tails. And then I come on Instagram and I post my screenshot and I say, see, look, I made money today. You don't realize it's a demo, and you don't realize that I got 2 demos and I went both long and short. I know the game. I watch people play that game. But every day they post their winners. They post their winning trades. If you believe that, then why are you not at Goldman Sachs? Why are you not at SAC Capital? Why are you not running a family office if you're such a fantastic trader? Because now all you got to do is just lever up. So now I know what you're going to say. Well, why did you stop trading? Because it's boring as fuck sitting in front of your computer screen for 9-10 hours a day, and you're only going to take 2 or 3 trades waiting for your setup. That's boring. It's like watching paint dry on the wall just to break even. And then you run to a point where most day trading strategies, as a point and click trader, they're not scalable. It's very hard to scale them up. This is where bots come into play. Building your own trading bot. And then that in itself takes so much back testing and so much work to build a great, trading bot that can execute properly and can adapt to the markets, right? Because then you have to start thinking that at a certain point, other people start picking off your edge. So it starts to become a race to the bottom in terms of day trading. Now, swing trading is very, very, very profitable. But it takes patience. It takes a different type of mind. So I'm a big fan of swing trading. I think that the longer the time frame, the better your strategy is going to be. The shorter your time frame, the more noise and the more likely it is you're going to lose money. So, long story short, I don't think it's smart to try to trade crypto in terms of, swing trading or day trading, because could you imagine, let's look at this chart. If you were swing trading back here, right? And let's say that you brought this and you believe that this right here was resistance. I can't see this side of the screen. Give me 1 second. right? Like, most people they draw this support and resistance lines. So let's say that you believe that $10,425 was resistance, and you brought right here. Great, you brought the exact bottom. You're a master trader. And then it went up here and you sold it because you said this is where the resistance is at. And you sold Bitcoin at $10,223. And then boom, it goes from 10,000 all the way up to 64,000. Look how much money you left on the table. See, what a lot of people are not going to tell you is that buy and hold is the best strategy ever. Buy and hold will outperform any of your day trading strategies. It's the reason why Warren Buffett's a billionaire. But see, the wealthy, the elite, they don't like to make things cool. Like, I heard the guy from Earn Your Leisure, he was talking about, like, where like we just got to make investing look cool. We got to make, like, no, things should not look cool. Like, everything shouldn't be swaggy and Mr. Rich. Some things should just be intellectual. Rich people do a really, really good job of not making, the things that they're doing look cool because they don't want to bring attention to it. Right? They don't want to bring attention to it. See, the real wealthy and elite, it's the reason why they dress like bums and stuff like that. They want to hide their money. And the guy, the master investor, I like him from Market Mondays. I think his name is Ian Dunlap, right? He was talking about this, about how wealthy people, the rich, they don't like making the things that they're doing, look cool. They don't want you to really know the things that they're doing. Right? It's all about misdirection. I played this video for you guys on my Instagram. Let me pull it up for you. Wait, where's my Instagram? Play this video I shared this video. I'm going to cover this tomorrow too. Let's log in. Yeah, save it. Not now. Let's go here. Let's pull up my page. All right. I shared this the other day. Let's pull this up. I shared this the other day. Let's put this on. All right.
I could care less what Bitcoin trades for. How I could care less what Bitcoin trades for. How I could care less what Bitcoin trades for. How it trades, why it trades, who trades it. If you're stupid enough to buy it, you'll pay the price for it one day.
On September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
He says it's a fraud.
Says he'll fire anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying it.
His company is buying it.
It's just, so unethical.
Right.
Okay, George Soros.
In January 24th, price was already down, calls Bitcoin a bubble, says Bitcoin is the worst, the worst investment in the world. Don't buy Bitcoin. Basically throws gasoline on the fire at this point. And then what do we find out? So he says bubble here.
It drops 44%.
Right. And then here in April, 2 months later, guess what we find out?
Yeah.
His $26 billion family office has approval to buy cryptocurrency.
Right. And we only knew about it publicly here.
Here.
Okay.
So then here now, Goldman Sachs, this again, February 7th, most cryptocurrencies will crash to zero. Now, I remember when they said this in February, and I had, through my network, I knew that Goldman Sachs was setting up a crypto trading desk. Absolutely knew they were setting up a crypto trading desk.
And I remember you telling me that.
Right. And then, of course, they were denying it. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. Price falls down 27%. And then what do we find out? We find out here, they say BTC 0. And then we find out just before May, new trading desk. Not only that, they put $400 million to buy a cryptocurrency trading platform. Okay, so February 7th, it's all going to zero. May, we just spent $400 million just on a flyer.
And they're not the only ones.
No.
So, I played that for you just to show you that you got to be smart, man, when you are just investing and you're looking at things, because the elites, the wealthy, they're very good at just misdirecting you time and time again. Like they're telling you, look over here. And then when they're saying look over here, their attention is over on the other end. You have to be mindful of these things and just know what the hell is going on and what you're looking at. And that goes back to investing. Like, it's a reason why day trading is always sold to the retail investor. Day trading is sold to you because you really just make the brokerages wealthy and rich, because they're making all of the fees off of you, and then they know you're going to blow your account. So they understand what's going on. It's a reason why they market these things to you. So, I try to do my part to give you guys sound information. It's up to you at the end of the day what you do with it. If you think that you can beat those odds, it is. I personally, I enjoy creating things. I enjoy interacting with other people. I enjoy creating content rather than sitting in front of a computer for 10 hours a day just to break even and then wait for 3 months out the year to eventually make money. Some people like that. And again, I've made good money at doing it, but there's no way that I could spend, 10 years, 20 years of my life doing that. It's not fulfilling at all, in my personal opinion. SQL is definitely worth learning if you're dealing with databases and data, right? Definitely a good skill to have. But you still need to know a programming language in terms of like if you want to build things. I like what FK said, time in the market over timing the market. Absolutely. XBZ said, I watch Market Mondays just for Ian. Yeah, Ian is really, really good, man. Brother is really, really knowledgeable. I like a lot of his information and a lot of his takes because they're similar to mine. So I think overall the Earn Your Leisure platform is a decent platform. There's some things that they do that I just don't appeal to me in my taste, but overall I don't see too much harm coming from that platform, especially for people who are new, who are just getting their feet wet. I don't see a lot of harm over there. I don't see much harm that can come from it. Wow, look at Quant. Quant is pumping. I don't know too much about that project. Pumping good. Some cryptos that are pumping, man. Engine's a decent project. Telcoin. I'm waiting for Telcoin to pop this 2 cents, man. I'm telling you, man, Telcoin's about to run. I can't wait. My baby Harmony. Harmony's doing well. Ontology's another one I like. Yeah. You could definitely program without knowing SQL. Yeah, you could definitely program without knowing SQL. So there's different type of programming. You could be a web developer, where you just design front ends. So you don't necessarily need to know SQL. It's a good skill to have, though. Of course they could, SREP. That's with all markets. All markets start at a point where it's dominated by a select group of people. But as more participants come in and other larger players come in, it begins to balance out. Right. So that's the whole point of early adoption, right? When you have early adopters, you have a lot of when you're early adopters, you tend to get a lot of calcification at the top. But then as you get more people that come in, it's still calcification at the top, but there's more players at the top. So it's not like just one or two people controlling the market. Maybe it might be 20 people now at the top of the market. And as you can see, as more and more institutional investors get involved, as more and more institutions come into the space, you're going to start to see that. Does Trap give good advice to you? I find he quotes a lot of Buffett and Cathie. Ian has my ear more than him. I think between Trap and Ian is really just a personal preference, right? I think a lot of the things that they say, they overlap. Cause they tend to be more of like buy and hold people. I think that Ian is more of a into like the technicals of the market in terms of like entries and exits, whereas Trap is trying to like basically invest in more staples like an Apple, Qualcomm with chips, like just common. Like Trap to me appears to be more of just a common sense person. Like I use an iPhone, obviously I want to buy an iPhone. Well, what goes into the iPhone? Who makes the chips? I want to own that as well, which is smart investing. I also just think a lot of times too, it's more or less who when you're following a person, right? You have to see and ask yourself, can I duplicate the things that this person is teaching or talking about, right? So when Trap tells a story, going to prison at 16, blah 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 blah, that's going to appeal to a certain demographic of people because they can relate to that and they can say, you know what, I feel like I can follow that, right? Like some of the things that I'm talking about, I don't appeal to everyone because I'm talking about things that people just don't have time to learn, nor do they want to learn. So I think another thing too is just more or less of finding people who you can relate to or that you can see yourself doing the things that they're doing. Like for example, there are some people who are hell of a day trade, beautiful day traders. I just don't enjoy being in front of my computer screen like that. I just don't enjoy it, right? So not saying that people can't do it, just most can't. So maybe you may like that lifestyle, and that may be for you. Just like some people are better at options trading than stock trading or futures trading, whatever the case may be. You have to find whoever fits what you're the lifestyle and the business that you're looking for. But I think Trap gives solid information. I don't Trap doesn't strike me as a person who's a schemer or a scammer. He just strikes me as a person telling his story and telling what he's been doing to get the success that he has. And he created a course, and obviously courses are more scalable. So I don't really get a bad vibe from him. I just don't like when he starts talking about crypto and stuff like that. Like, oh, I told you watch out for that crypto stuff. Like, nah. Like stay in your lane. But other than that, I think Ian has more to offer just in terms of thinking like an institutional investor, timing your entries, your exits, things of that nature. And then Ian has the Red Panda Sniper Group. So I think that Ian has more to offer in terms of what he's presenting. That doesn't mean that Trap doesn't know those things. I'm just saying I haven't seen him talking about those things. Why are there coins on page 3? That should be page 1. That's what Richard was talking about in terms of like hex. Yeah. Richard says some things that you just be like, listen, I don't really know about that one sometimes. What do you think about the upcoming Pulse project? I think the Pulse project's going to be successful. I think that Richard's very good. I say this all the time, like a broken record. Richard is good at marketing. He's very technical. He knows what he's talking about. He understands pumpamentals and how to get people into a project and what makes people stay. Most people don't give a damn about the technology at all. They just don't. They're only here for their bags to pump. And it makes sense to buy something when it first starts or first, comes to the marketplace and hold it. And Richard understands that. And this is why Richard created Hex, and Hex has performed really, really well because he's basically monetizing time, getting people to lock up coins and hold them for an extended period of time. That's crypto, right? Same thing with Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's a store of value. Get people, and we create these terms like HODL, hold on for dear life, right? Because if you can convince people to buy things and hold them and not sell them, they tend to appreciate in value, right? Because the more people you can get to buy something and hold it and not sell it, it goes up, right? And then if you can convince them to lock them up where they can't sell them or they'll be penalized, then the project's going to perform well. So Richard understands psychology and just human emotion. Now, the idea of PulseChain of basically, recreating Geth and basically creating a better version of Ethereum. So he says, listen, if PulseChain gets anywhere near the adoption that Ethereum gets, they're going to run into the same problems. One of the biggest problems I see with the PulseChain, like I said the other day, is if your marketing pitch is just, we're going to copy everything Ethereum is doing, then it's like you're not going to get that much adoption outside of basic crypto people, right? You have to be innovative. And I don't see a lot of developers who are going to want to leave the Ethereum ecosystem to come over to PulseChain. So will it be successful? Yeah. How successful? Who knows, right? Will it pump? Yeah. Will you make money in it if you get involved in it? Yeah, if you sell it in enough time. But in terms of like really being a competitor to Ethereum, absolutely not. It's not going to be innovative. It's going to be a copycat. And we have enough people. We have enough experience with copycats. We watched Binance Smart Chain do it. We watched Avalanche do it. We watched all these people do it. You need developers building and innovating and creating projects that people and products and services that people want. And I don't see developers coming over to, want to create a Maker or a Uniswap, right? Like before it's out there, right? What I see him doing is basically cloning the entire state of Ethereum and creating what is it called? PRC 20 tokens. So it's like, again, Richard's really smart. Richard understands what he's doing. And I think it will pump. I think that you're better off listening to the things that Richard is saying, but also educating yourself. No, but see, look at this. Faster with no fees might be the biggest selling point, but Algorand is faster. Tezos is faster. Like, we already have fast blockchains. We already have cheap blockchains. Guess what? No one's building on them. Right? Like, it's laughable when I hear people say, like, oh my God, this is cheaper. Oh my God, this is faster. Okay, and no one's building on those chains. They're ghost chains. So, great. You have a Ferrari. Great. No one's using it. So who cares about it? Like, it's laughable when I sit here and I hear people say these things like, oh, it's faster than Ethereum. It has more transactions than Ethereum. Great. Yeah, I'm not just talking to you, Big Gunner D. Have fun, right? Like, there's tons of blockchains. Like, whenever you hear a person say that, run for the hills. Whenever they say, okay, it's faster and it's cheaper. Okay, great. We've heard that sales pitch already. What are you going to build on that blockchain that make people say, you know what? What's over there is better. Because if all you're going to do is create a bunch of yield farming opportunities, all you're doing is creating a Ponzi, all you do is creating Ponzi economics. And we know how these things, we know how the Ponzi, all of the yield farming, we know how it happens. Everyone runs over there, they start farming a token, and what do they do with the token as soon as they farm it? They dump it. Why do you think Matic went on that crazy run when it pumped insane and it tripled in a matter of a week? Because they had an insane farm. Right? An insane farm. Okay, great. People are farming a token. What do you think the people are doing that's farming the token? They dump it. So, guys, we know and we understand how these things are going. The way that you are going to get adoption in crypto, the way that your chain is going to get real traction is that you have to create products and services that are going to make people want to come over there and stay. Simple. Simple. Not complicated. Why do you think Vitalik said, stop focusing on DeFi for everyone? Because you have to, in order for you to get the everyday average Joe to come over onto your blockchain and use it and want to stay there, you have to create things that makes them want to come over there and stay. Yes, I do. Yes, price matters. Fees do have to come down, and we see fees are coming down. Oh my, we already have bridges. Hex Cuddy. We have bridges already. We don't have bridges? Come on. Richard's selling point is, I am beating Ethereum to the marketplace with ETH 2.0. That's his selling point. Come on. That's his selling point. And the idea that delegated proof of stake is better than you staking your coins with Lido or you staking your coins with Rocket Pool, that's subjective. That's not objective. That's not factual that it's better. That's you thinking it's better. See, again, I think Richard's brilliant. I think Richard's brilliant because he creates a cult-like following. It's not factually it's not factual that delegated proof of stake is better than proof of stake. It's not factual that somehow the people that are holding your keys, as he says at Lido, are going to scam you. He's assuming that. That's subjective. That's an assumption. I can assume you have balls, but you could be a woman. I can assume anything. I can assume that you are Tyrannosaurus Rex from Planet X. That's an assumption. We all have opinions. Some people believe proof of work is better. Others believe proof of stake is better. There's proof of time. There's proof of authority. There's so many different consensus mechanisms. Right? Like you know, this is the thing that bothers me with crypto is that people get into these tribalistic ways of thinking where it's like, you know, this is better than that, and you know, that's better than this because why? Why is it better? Right? Okay, then you're going to argue your reasons. Well, like personally, I think proof of stake is a better mechanism than proof of work. And then I'm going to listen to me. I'm going to argue my reasons why I think it's better, but it's still subjective. It's not objective. Objective is something that we can all believe that this is black. Objective is something 2 + 2 is 4, right? No matter how you feel, 2 + 2 is always going to be 4, right? These are objective things. So again, I think PulseChain is going to do well. Is it an Ethereum killer? Absolutely not. Is it going to help the fees come down on Ethereum because it's going to take a lot of the degenerate yield farming off of it? Absolutely. But this idea that any of these chains are going to kill Ethereum is just laughable. Guys, I've been hearing about the next Ethereum killer for 4 years now. I've been hearing about it. Cardano is going to kill Ethereum. Avalanche is going to kill Ethereum. NEM is going to kill Ethereum. EOS is going to kill Ethereum. Neo is going to kill Ethereum. Harmony is going to kill Ethereum. Right? I've been hearing this and hearing this and hearing this and hearing this and hearing this. And here we are now. Ethereum's worth what, $300 billion, and none of these cryptocurrencies have killed Ethereum. Right? Remember EOS? They were supposed to kill Ethereum. They raised $8 billion. That never happened. Here we are. Ethereum's at $303 billion. Second largest cryptocurrency in the world. And we're still waiting for the Ethereum killer to kill Ethereum. I mean, Cardano's the 5th largest cryptocurrency. They don't even have smart contracts. Right? So, I've been hearing about this for a long time. Again, Hex is going to perform well. PulseChain is going to perform well. Is it a scam? Absolutely not. And be mindful of that. True subjective. But as long as someone has valid quantifiable points, I'm all ears. The ETH killer narrative is played out, though. We don't need an ETH killer. We need a cheaper ETH, in my opinion. I agree, Hex Cathie. But what a lot of you don't understand is that there's a lot of tooling and developing that goes into a cryptocurrency, right? And it's very hard to get people to buy into something and then just dump it and move to something new, right? Like when you're spending, you have to think about it. When people are spending millions of dollars to develop tooling, right, and documentation and all that for a particular ecosystem or a particular cryptocurrency, it's it's hard to believe that they're just going to get up today and go, you know what? I put $200 million into Ethereum, and to building out the tooling, to building out the documentation, to building out the frameworks, all that stuff I did. Nope. Cardano is what's new because it's the new flavor of the week. Oh, you know what? Solana is going to be the new flavor of the week. Oh, this week is going to be PulseChain. People who are deploying large amounts of capital, they don't just make decisions like that. So this is why once a network gets adoption, it's very hard to believe that tomorrow Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, SAC Capital, Paul Tudor Jones, Elon Musk is going to say, you know what? Forget this Bitcoin thing. I'm going with PulseChain. Right? People don't think like that. People don't move like that. People are very slow to adopt something, and then they're even slower to change it. So yes, will the crypto junkies adopt PulseChain? Absolutely. Will it pump? Will it do a 3, 4, 5, 10, 15x? Absolutely. Because those of us, we know that whoever gets in first is going to yield the highest amounts of rewards. So many of you are sacrificing your coins and doing what you have to do because we understand how crypto works. I get that. I'm not taking that away from you. But in terms of, okay, once you get past the crypto degenerates, what's going to drive people to want to use PulseChain? Right? Because think about it. I couldn't convince people to get into crypto for 3 years. I was telling people about, Cardano. I was telling people about Ethereum and Bitcoin back when Ethereum was trading at $80, when Bitcoin was at $2,000, $3,000, when Bitcoin was at $1,500. And people told me, I'm not interested in that. Thing seemed like a scam. Then Elon Musk starts tweeting about Dogecoin. And now all of a sudden, people who told me crypto was a scam, they're buying Dogecoin. Right? So, people are very slow to adopt. But once the right influencer gets in front of it, people are going to adopt it. And now they're even slower to change. That's just people. Take a few more questions. I agree with you, Todd Mack. I started buying Solana. I like Solana. I think it's a solid project. I believe that Solana, Avalanche, and Terra is going to give Cardano some fits if they don't get it together. Cardano has to. There's no way that come September they can come out here without smart contracts. If Charles shows up with that stupid ass hat on, that sombrero, and that blanket that he wears, and they don't have smart contracts, it's going to be a problem. I think Charles is really, really brilliant, and for a technologist, he does a really good job at communicating. But if they don't come up with smart contracts, it's going to be a problem. Because everyone else is coming to the marketplace already with smart contracts and working dApps. And then if they have smart contracts by the end of the year, they better have some killer applications on there, right? It can't just be it can't be what Richard and them doing is, well, listen, we have a Uniswap on Cardano. We have a maker on Cardano, right? We need to see some real, innovative stuff happening over there. In just my opinion. So I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. I plan on going live tomorrow about the Alex Saunders situation. I mean, we've been on here for 3 hours and 15 minutes. I was kind of bored, so I said I'll hop on here with you guys and talk to you guys. I haven't been live in a while. Tomorrow I will be live, and I'll probably go live around like 4 o'clock. I'll send out an email tomorrow. I hope I answered some of you guys' questions. Again, like I said, I just wanted to hop on here and talk to you. It's been a while since I've been on live. I know I said this before, but I'm definitely going to start picking up the live streams again. So have a good night, man. I'll leave this up as well too. I'm not going to delete it or anything. We had a good build, had a good talk, so I'll leave it up here. Let you guys watch it. But tomorrow I'm going to dive into the Alex Saunders thing, because I just think that it's important to have this conversation with you guys going forward, man. But I appreciate all you guys. Thank you to everybody that donated. Even those of you who disagree with me. I love, debate. I love conversation. I think that that's healthy going forward. So have a blessed and beautiful morning, right? Because it's 3:30 or 3:35 in the morning here in New York. So see you guys tomorrow.